is. If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Hello and welcome to episode number 16 of Weekend Warriors right here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm your proud host, Howard Kravitz, along with great friend and co-host and current leader of the NHC tournament right now at Churchill Downs, of course, sponsored by Twinspires, Mr. Matt Miller. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We just had a thrilling finish in race 7 at Churchill as we are live here on Saturday afternoon. Next girl with a very game win over a goat, Sadie the goat, that, wow, she did not give up the goat, or he didn't give up the goat very easily in a thrilling finish. Matt Miller, how you doing today?
Doing terrific. I don't know if you caught it, but I renamed myself at the bottom. I just caught a tweet from Darren calling me a tournament dynamo. So I'm we'll use that one for 10 minutes and then we'll switch it back to normal.
All right. Matt's got a very nice lead. Congrats, Matt. We'll get into the tournament. We are going to be having many people on the show. This is going to last through the end of the Churchill Downs card and through the end of the very exciting Twinspires tournament as Weekend Warriors, now co-sponsored by Twinspires. There's a big NHC tournament. Matt, usually these tournaments that are $500 entries, we see maybe 50, 60 entries. How about 108 entries today with 2 on the line? And pretty nice cash prizes as well at those top 2 seats that everyone's vying for to get to the National Horse Players Championship in Las Vegas in March.
I think there's a lot of actual reasons for the higher participation today. Definitely the leaderboard and us and all that. There's also definitely, I think, a noticeable marketing push from Twinspires, which is nice.
Yeah.
But this a little bit I'm going to use as a very gently delivered "I told you so" to Darren, that if you put up NHC seats, people will show up. There are not that many at-bats for these live bankroll tournaments. This is a great one. And so as much as I'd like to think it's me or Howard that impacted this somehow, I really think it's the prize pool and the prize structure. So hats off to Darren and team.
No, it is. We like to think we're helping out a little bit, and that's why we're here, of course. But thanks for watching. Let me set the scene for everyone. First of all, you can listen to us to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. And if you really want to help out the podcast, of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the bottom right-hand side of the screen on YouTube. Hit the notification bell, in the top right. And then below the video player, there's that thumbs up button. Please hit that. That'll send the YouTube algorithm to the HHH Racing Podcast so that more people will watch it. And, of course, more people will watch any content related to our new partner, which is right there, Twinspires. Please bet Twinspires. Of course, this contest is at Churchill Downs. So very exciting stuff going on. Matt, here's what we're going to do. I know that you are going to have to leave in about 45 minutes. Totally understand. Family obligation. Plus, we weren't exactly sure we were going to be having this podcast this Saturday as of last week. So we are going to have other people on. Jackson Muniz, who I believe is in the tournament with someone else. I'm not sure. We'll find out. Will be here. Noah Maher he's in the tournament. Of course, both of our co-hosts on the leaderboard, our new show on Wednesday nights, focusing on contest play. They will be here. Kyle Roscoe, host of Bet and Boozin', will definitely be here, and possibly Ryan Anderson and some others. Yours truly, if I may say, I'm in 11th right now out of 108, over $500, very much in the mix. I did not play that race. Thrilling finish there. Again, next level, I believe is the name of the horse, won at 3-1 over Sadie the Goat at 6-1. It came 11-9-4. Let's do this, Matt. Let's just go right to the leaderboard right now. Now, we're going to talk tournament strategy. Obviously, we're both playing in it. I don't know how. I'm not going to give my exact pick. I don't think you should either, but certainly we can talk about other people's plays. I think what we should talk about right off the bat, Matt, and then we will get to handicapping a bit of race 8. There were 2 races back to back, early part of the card, race 3 and race 4, the Chuluki, and then a starter allowance race with basically a 2-horse race, and it ended up being that way, which I know is big for you. I think race 3 and 4, as of now, Matt, has sort of set the tone for who is at the top of the leaderboard as I get this up here in just a moment.
Yeah, well, and I'm clicking as well. I think that's indeed the double I hit, and you're right. So we've talked a bunch before about entering these things once versus twice, and when you enter with 2 entries, you're not really diluting yourself or reducing your leverage at all with the second entry if you just take 2 good wallops at the combos you like. And if you look at my plays, you'd be able to see, you don't have to go look. It was pretty much 2 horses in each race that I liked. And I just kind of split up the bets that way amongst doubles. And that took me from a starting balance of 250, maybe to 750. And then it took one more nice hit after that. So this is a kind of tournament that I've called a 2-hitter. And you see that beginning double. I had a $125 double that lost. I also had one that hit. So 785 was enough to get me going, where I felt comfortable waiting a few races, just a couple. I'm not that patient. I found a 2-to-1 shot that I liked and let them have it. And that was that.
I was trying to see if I can go to 200, but I can't. So I think everyone can see on the right side of the screen here. You're in first. There it is. And then you had a win bet on the 7 for IRAD, who actually was a little fractious in the gate. And I was curious to see if the horse would take less money. Not really. IRAD, Matt, with an unbelievable ride, inside out, perfect trip, got up. It was pretty close, but it wasn't a head bob. And that was a big score for you for 2,300.
Yeah, and that got me pretty much, and I don't mind on these shows, by the way, being candid and forthright about strategy. I mean, it's in our book, and I don't really deviate too much from it. So it's not like I'm saying something people don't know, but I have a target going into these tournaments. This one I knew would be coveted. It's top heavy. It's not only an NHC seat, it's also the prize money. And I'm just going to take a guess, by the way. My guess is that twinspires had to commit to the NTRA how many seats would be in this tournament. So they didn't have the ability to just add another. I think they had to keep it at 2, and that's why they're adding cash. So that's a little bit of a different kind of feature. Certainly, if you're in line to get that, that's awfully nice, because I think just about everyone playing at the start would have said, oh, no, just add more seats if you can. So, Darren, there's a little feedback for you. But again, that may not be possible based on the way these things go. So, okay, as you said, Howard, there's a long way to go. And for me, knowing this was top heavy, my target was somewhere in the range of 7 or 8 times starting bankroll. I'm there. And so now the math gets a little weird. Even if a couple of people were to pass me, at some point you got to do the math to figure out, does it make sense to push again, or are you risking too much with the prize money you're going to win? Hopefully we can, I'll be in the car, frankly, when it comes to that, but hopefully it won't come to that, and it'll just be really strange results from here on in, and I can just coast home. We'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. I'm sorry, checking my phone. Let me disconnect so I don't turn around and look like a knucklehead here. There's a lot of people at 1,200, and there's a long way to go. There's still 4 races left. We know there's going to be some big plays coming. Matt, I just brought a lot of people in the chat. Look, if you're watching this live, and I don't know why you wouldn't be, and you're in the contest, you should call people up on the phone, text them, whatever, right now and say, look, HHH Racing Podcast got a live show talking about that. If you're in the tournament and you're not watching the show, you're missing out on information. I mean, we're going to give out not only information from other people, we're going to give out contest strategy. You could disagree with it or not. That's absolutely fine. We're going to give some information about ourselves. We're not afraid to do that. So please, gather the children around and watch the HHH Racing Podcast here for the next 2 hours. Matt, here's what I'd like to do. Actually, let me refresh the leaderboard in case anything has happened of interest. Let's see if it's already, that was what race 8 just happened there, I believe. Is that right? Okay, it has not updated yet. No, it is not updated yet. That was race 7. Sorry, what race? That was race 7, actually. Okay,
Okay.
No real movement. Matt, you've got your 2303. Gwen Houston moved up 2 spots. Played, let's see, actually did not play that race, just moved up by default. No one really made any kind of legitimate move. I'm in 12th at 526. I'm just looking at the people that Neil Thornberry. What's up, Neil? He's in 17th right now, doing fine, 375. Just looking down the list to see Chris Couples in 32nd at 251. I apologize, everyone. I'm looking at my screen to the right for this information. Noah Maher is at 201. He's been what we called show laxing, which Matt can talk about in just a minute. So he basically hasn't made any real significant moves. Actually, Chris Couples looks like he has a second entry in 55th. And Mike Probozzi from in the Money Media, and perhaps Jackson Muniz has a part of that. I'm not sure. He's in 58th. All right, Matt, let's do this. Let's talk about race 8. This is the start of the pick 4. Now, we talked about these races on Picks and Ponies. This is a turf sprint, and anyone that knows me knows I'm not a major fan of turf sprints. That being said, Matt, there is going to be I would assume, a pretty heavy favorite. This is the first time now I'm looking, 8-5, no surprise. Let's bring it on screen. Frosty View right now. This is 5.5 furlongs, by the way. Again, Claiming Crown Championship Day. There's 13 minutes to post. Frosty View, the number 4, 8-5, pretty heavy favorite. You got Final Verdict, a horse I'm a little bit interested in, at 9-2. Sharp Note, 6-1. Let's see, I think it's Chiseler, 15-1. I actually think this horse is a little bit interesting underneath, at least, for Brittany Vandenberg. Pinfire. There's a bunch of horses here, Matt, that have been racing on dirt and are going to turf because that's the condition of this race, and that's, the condition that they can run in, 5-1. But they are fast. I mean, there looks like Bad Beat Brian, High Front taking a lot of money, by the way, for IRAD. I think that's a jock switch, by the way, Matt, because I think it was one of the Asmussen brothers, and now it's IRAD. Interesting. On High Front at 7-1, the 13 horse, and then you have some bombs in the AE. So, Matt, let's take a look real quick here at Frosty View. I'll put you on the screen. I don't know how much handicapping you did on all these races. I thought this was clearly the horse to beat. He ran huge last time at Keeneland. A lot of horses coming from Keeneland, Matt, do well in this Claiming Crown Championship. But you know what? People can do what they want, of course, with their contest play. A big field with a lot of fast early runners, 8-5 just seems too low to me. But I'm sure some people are going to lean on this horse.
Agreed. And look, the handicapping I did on this race was this is too hard. I need to score earlier. So, I mean,
don't you feel that way about a lot of the races in the late pick 4 here, Matt, and the races toward the end of the card? I thought were very difficult.
That's exactly why I did what I did. I thought,
yeah.
I obviously, we've talked about strategy before.
What's up, Ed?
Hey, Ed.
Thanks for the compliment. We agree.
That's absolutely a compliment. Look, you kind of have to look at the last race to see if you're in a position where you might have to play it. But otherwise, in these last 4 races, I didn't see anything super reliable. Even if you gave me 2 horses, I didn't feel like in a race like this, I don't feel like saying, oh, you have 2 now. I don't feel that much better. I mean, it's better, but it's not that much better. But the hard part from a tournament perspective for those playing, this is, you still at this point in the tournament need to play with conviction. So that gets especially hard when you're kind of faking it because you don't really have it, but you still have to bet with it because reducing your bet size because you're not super confident just means if you hit, you're not going to make enough money. So this for me is that's exactly why this for me would be an uncomfortable spot and why I tried to find something earlier. I do think we're getting to the point with a few races to go. You got to hit it. What's up, Jackson?
Jackson Muniz is here. Jackson, how's the weather in sunny California? Not today.
Pouring, and it's so bizarre. There's nobody on the freeway, and we have to drive 50 miles per hour. I've never happened that my entire life. It's so weird.
Good feeling. Well, stay safe. I know, again, we've talked about this. When it rains in California, people freak out and don't know what to do with it. Meanwhile, 5 or 6 inches of snow, Matt, no problem here in Chicago. We don't have it now, but, in general. Jackson, I want to ask you a question. I don't know if you don't have to answer this, but I know Mike Probozzi is playing in the tournament. Are you going along with him, so to speak?
Yeah, we're playing together.
Okay.
We are live. We're all in this race. We got a live with some doubles to the 4. Nothing crazy, but it would put us in position to make a move late. So
okay. So you need the 4. You need the 4 in this turf sprint to stay alive. Is that correct?
Correct. So
look, we just talked about it off screen. Yeah, we just talked about it off screen, Jackson, before you came on. I said this is not a horse I'd play on the win end just because I don't like turf sprints and there's a lot of early speed. That being said, I also said to Matt before you came on, a lot of people are probably playing heavy into this horse and probably is the lowest price horse for the rest of the card, I would think. So, like, I totally get it. This is definitely the horse to beat. Do you want to talk about this horse a little bit? And then we'll go to some others. You see, here's Frosty View. I thought he ran huge last time, Jackson, for sure.
Agreed, and I think that's kind of what we were keyed in on. That Keeneland race was huge. I mean, it was a fast pace. He was always on top of it. He put away the other speed, and he destroyed that field. I mean, it's not like they were getting to him late. He won that race by almost 3 lengths, and 2 3/4 lengths in a turf sprint is a big margin. So I loved what I saw that day. The race 2 back at Hawthorne was good. That was a mile race where he set a fast pace against better than what he's facing here. And he just got a little tired at the very end in there. I think the key for me is, look, he's run 6 turf races, last 6 races. 5 of those 6 would win this if he runs back to any of those. I don't think there's as much speed in here as he faced at Keeneland. Outside of the 1, I'm not sure who's going to go with him. And if he runs his race, I think he's going to be very difficult to beat. So, feel good about this play. Hopefully gets the job done.
I'm not going to argue with you. Guys, we're going to be doing this throughout the day, the next 2 hours, because I am in the contest. And once in a while, I do have to figure out some doubles. So I'll keep myself on screen. But why don't you guys talk about Jackson's another horse that you want to talk about? Obviously, I'm not going to watch you guys per se, but I'm going to hear you guys as I do my own little research. Why don't you just talk about a few other horses in this race, Jackson, that concern you or they're bettable, and I'll just go ahead and move the PPs and people can see. Matt, feel free to chime in. Jackson?
Yeah, I think the obvious horse is the horse right to his outside. That's Final Verdict, who's been facing very good company out in New York, obviously, against tough allowance foes. My issue with him is he has found ways to get into trouble in his last 5 or 6 races. And at some point, maybe he's just a horse that just finds trouble every time. At some point, you got to break through, and it just hasn't necessarily happened for him. But he does find himself in a race. I think he's got a good post for this horse. He's drawn right outside of the 1 and 4. I'd imagine Tyler is going to stay as close as he can to those 2 and hope they go at each other and then just get the jump on everyone else. So he does seem like the big threat. If it's going to be anyone else, I do expect it to be the 5. As I'm just seeing the 1 horse scratch. Was that been there all day, or is that recent?
I think that is. Oh no, that's been. It wasn't an original scratch, but it was a scratch before the races started today. Yes.
Interesting. I did not notice that earlier.
But it was not. It was not. It was not a scratch. It was a late early scratch, if you know what I mean, Jackson.
So clearly, I'm on top of all this because that was the other main speed for the 4. So that makes me feel a lot better, actually. But I would imagine if I'm Tyler Gaffalione, that changes my game plan. Now I think I probably have to go because I can't. If I let the 4 get an easy lead, that horse is going to just trounce his field. So I would imagine Tyler's going to go after him and try to make this a match race. But this is the main threat, I think.
Do you think that helps the 5 in a weird way also? Or do you think the 5 was maybe helping, or the connections helping, that the 1 and 4 would battle and the 5 could sit a nice pocket trip? Now the 5 might be on a merry chase, so you don't think it really matters much?
I think they would probably prefer the 1 had been in there because at least it would have given them options.
Right.
They could have played the break a little bit, seen what could have happened. I think now you have to go. I don't think you can let the 4, unless someone else unexpected goes on a mission, which is possible. But I think the game plan's got to be now. We have to come out of the gates running.
Well,
Matt, did you have an opinion on the 5?
Yeah. So let's look. 12 out of 22, second and third in his life. That's pretty notable. And I don't really think that the running style is directly competitive with that of the 4. So that if the 4 runs the 4's race and is best, this sure feels like a very logical candidate for the exacta or the trifecta, second or third, behind a pretty reliable favorite, it feels like. So I would feel differently if they had headbutting styles, but it doesn't really look like they do. So this could be as easy as 4-5 or 4-something 5.
Okay. Who else do you want to talk about in this race? I'll tell you what, betting on the PC or on PC is not nearly as easy as betting on your phone. I can tell you that based on what I have set up right now, but no worries. That's, side note, Churchill Downs does a great, twinspires, specifically twinspires, does a great job with their platform, don't they, Jackson, with these contests?
Yeah, I love it. Look, it's changed my betting completely. Most of my money now is going through these contests. I still play cash inside, of course, but it's probably like it's at least 50-50 these days. We just played one right now with Mike again at Aqueduct. I just see right now that we hit the last race and got in the top 7 or whatever. So nice. Even if we lose this one, we're coming back again tomorrow at Churchill. We're gonna have some fun with that. So
there you go.
It's just good action. It's fantastic action, and I think the part that doesn't get talked about enough is nowadays it's so hard to consistently make good bets that provide value, and it's so much easier to just pick winners. In tournaments, it's all about picking winners because all the value is at the end of the contest. If you make the top 3 or top 2 or whatever it may be, there's much less of a premium on finding good value. You just got to find horses that fit. It doesn't matter if you're betting even money shots that should be 7-5. As long as they win, you're going to get paid what you should at the end of the day.
No doubt. Is there anyone else, Jackson? Actually, let's talk about instead of talking about horses and handicapping, let's just talk about from a contest perspective. Matt, what are you expecting people to do that are behind you? They're 1,100 behind. There's still 4 races left. I suppose if someone loves the spot, they could be making a major move right now. Although they only need to get to 1,200 as of now to get a NHC seat. It's a little hard to predict what the target score should be for people that are looking into second right now. Not that there's anything wrong trying to beat Matt Miller for $7,000, by the way. It's the top prize, but the NHC seats are top 2. Do you have a target in mind? I want to ask you for your target, but target for people to get to the top 2 seats at the end of the contest. Right now, 1,200's in second place, basically.
If I was talking, well, I am talking to you. If I was talking to anybody in this tournament that is not presently in second, I would be advising shoot for about $1,500. And that's not just a self-serving statement saying let me go, but you are taking.
Yeah, everyone just move out of the way. Let Matt just mosey into first place. No.
But look, let me just be the boogeyman and scare everybody for a second. First of all, you're going to have to take a lot more risk to get up to those dollars. And if you do, I'm firing right back in your face, the whole thing. So you're going to have to do it all over again. So all the guts that it's going to take you to do this once, just double up. You're going to have to do it a second time unless you wait for the last race. So yeah, you should know who's in first, second, third, fourth. The personalities matter. I'm not ripping anybody when I say there are people on that board that if they were in my spot, they'd still be betting like crazy, right? I'm relaxing. I'm pretty happy with my total. And I'm loving the Chris Crupples comment. I am not in my normal uniform. I'm going out to dinner after this. So there's no hoodie, sorry.
I just want to check. The sound should be working, I believe. Hold on a second. Okay, we can't do that. So just let everyone know, we cannot show the races. We had a long conversation with twinspires. They don't want to show the races right now.
The gate.
Can you guys hear that?
Time.
Yes.
Okay, good. And there's no echo, right? Everything should be good as far as I know. All right. So they're going to the gate. We're going to listen to all the races here. Live HHH Racing Podcast, race 8. This is the start of the late pick 4. The number 4, Frosty View, down to 6-5. Woo. Final verdict at 5-1. The number 8, who's a dirt to turf pinfire, I believe, Jackson, taking quite a bit of money. And then the 13 is IRAD. That's an IRAD jockey change, Jackson, on the 13, by the way.
And Mr. Mello.
Here we go. Good luck to everyone. 5.5 furlongs.
Good luck.
I played a minimum, by the way, in this race. I did make a $25 bet.
I have the 4 in cash.
Good luck to Jackson, by the way. You and Mike Proposi with the 4. I'm assuming your wire to wire will be just fine with you.
Perfect.
And they're off. Good start, pinfire and final verdict. And so too, jokes aside and high front and bad beat Brian and Frosty View. fires through toward the rail. Frosty View up for the lead. Final verdict is racing. Second, Jokes Aside
Stop the
outside.
race.
Third, Pinfire is fourth. Spoke Down inside fifth. High Front in sixth. Shape Notes in seventh. Bad Beat Brian is eighth. Chromed Impulse is ninth. Chisler toward the inside 10th early. Mr. Mellow 11th. Charingo's at the back in 12th as they hit the far turn. Frosty View fleet-footed out there trying to get away from Final Verdict, who's now a length behind of Frosty View. Frosty View comes outside the quarter pole. Final Verdict targeting second, farther back, High Front third, Jokes Aside. Down inside is Spoke, Pinfire, toiling at mid-pack. Bad Beat Brian far outside, 1 furlong to go. Final Verdict is up for the lead. Frosty View tries to move with that one. Shape Note dives to the rail. High Front far outside, 50 yards to go. Final Verdict, here comes Shape Note up the inside. Shape Note got there. Last stride, nailing Final Verdict right on the wire. High Front was third, then it's tight for fourth among Frosty View, Bad Beat Brian, and others.
What a ride up the rail. Sorry, Jackson, for you and Mike Probosi. 8-1 on one of those horses, Matt, we talked about. We didn't talk about that particular horse, but one of those fast horses I mentioned going dirt to turf. If I recall, Jackson, not a lot of turf form at all. I was 4 or 5 guys in a double. Again, I only spent $25. That's why I was leaning a little bit. I need the 5 again, I would have only won if I even collected the double, it would have been $100. I just need to fulfill a minimum. I'm not going to show bet Matt and Jackson at this point. I don't feel like I can or needed to. Jackson, I didn't really see an excuse, my friend. I mean, 22, again, this turf course is not, super firm. It's not the summer. Pretty quick second quarter, but the 5 who was tailing him almost won the race. So Frosty View just didn't fire, to be honest.
Yeah, just one of those things. No excuses. And look, that was the 4 in this race was our big opinion of the day. There was no scenario where we were going to do well in this contest without the 4 winning this race, and it just didn't happen. And it was kind of like we talked about. The 5, I think Tyler G felt like he had to go, and they kind of hooked up, and the 5 got the better of him. And it's kind of took its toll on the 5 horse as well, setting it up for someone from off the pace. And the 6 did have some turf form. It had just been a really long time. He was 3 for 6 on the grass, but it was early in his career. So if you like that horse, you got paid for sure.
I mean, Maker is just completely ridiculous. I'm not going to go back and look at the his PPs, but another horse coming from Keeneland. These horses that are coming from Keeneland are doing well. Maker and Jose Ortiz. I'll have to watch the ride again, but I mean, obviously saved ground. What an unbelievable ride. I didn't really see any excuses for either of the top 2. Whoops, I'm sorry. I was supposed to show this. I apologize, everyone. I didn't really see any excuses for either one, to be honest, Matt, the 4 or the 5. I guess I guess if I were to nitpick, Matt, from a pure handicapping standpoint, Tyler didn't really have to be like breathing all over the 4. He could have just sort of sat maybe a length off and maybe pushed the button a little bit later. I mean, they only lost by a neck. I'm saying that selfishly because I needed the 5 for a little bit. I don't know. The 5 ran very well.
The 5 was the best horse in the race, in my opinion. They ran really quickly up front. He took just as much of that tough pace as the 4.
Yeah.
And powered past him and got caught late. I mean, I'd say that's a bet back. That's a horse that ran a winning race. It was just another one in there that was better. But I mean, that's that. If I had picked the 5, that's not one I'm hanging my head saying I don't know what I'm doing. I just say this game is maddening when you lose just because there's one better.
Look, Matt, we're rooting for everyone. Okay, we're not wishing bad things upon anyone. Let's just make that very clear. However, this is a competition. I'm guessing, Matt, you're very happy with prices coming in these last 3 races. Like, for example, Jackson and Mike Probosi needed the 4. I'm sure a lot of people needed the 4 there. Or do you want to see prices?
I don't even know. I don't know. If Jackson's opinion there, right? He's a killer player. And if his opinion there was a 6-1 or a 7-1, I'd be in a lot of trouble right now. So yeah, I know. Thanks, Jackson. I gave him one of those.
You make it too easy. I mean, I had to do it.
So I don't know. I mean, there's some really tough people in this field. So people think it's BS when people at the top of a leaderboard start clicking it like maniacs, all nervous about stuff. But
Look out, Matt. Chris Couples, it is now go time. He's going to come at you like Zenyatta, I'm assuming, in this next race. Chris Couples, you're not alone on that train. I'm sure a lot of people are going to come after you. By the way, 6'5", 13. I'll tell you what, Irad ranged up on the top of the stretch. I thought he was winning that race, guys. I don't know how you felt there. He was 3 wide. 6'5", 13, 11. I just missed the payouts there, but Sharp Note pays 19. There we go. $85 exacted for 2. The 50-cent try was 127. The great thing about these contests in twinspires, guys, is they update the leaderboard relatively quickly. So we're going to look at it very soon before we get to the next race. Go ahead, Matt. You can finish your thought there.
No, I think I'm done with that thought. I'm now in leaderboard clicking hell. I'll let you know once the thing is updated.
Right. That was race 8, right?
That was race 8. So it's currently showing race 7.
Okay.
Here we go. Although sometimes it takes a second if you do it too quickly. So it's best to hit refresh once or twice. It looks like, if I'm looking at that right, that was fantastic for me. Nobody moved. Nobody moved in the top 6. If that's updated properly.
In fact, if anything, a few people looks like they might have gone down as I bring it on screen right now. You still have the lead. You did make a play there. You did not. You just show. Yeah, you show bet. Okay.
Was that
on the 4?
3? Hold on. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the better contest players has to do, and I admit it like everybody else. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so that's 5 minimums. I'm now done, so I could cancel my remaining. But yeah, you mentioned the term show lax before.
Yeah.
This is exactly what that is. You get to a good spot. You're happy with your balance. You want to just kind of hopefully preserve where you're at and not put too much at risk. So you make show bets with your remaining minimums. And it's a combination of relax and show betting. That's actually Dr. Tang who came up with that one. So we'll give him props. But yeah, I'm show laxing at the moment, but at this point I'm done. That was my last minimum, and I'll probably count with my fingers one more time, but then I think that's it unless I have to jump back in.
For people curious on what I've done, now I played 2 entries. One of them I sacrificed earlier. This particular entry that I'm very much in reach, I feel, at least for second for sure. I played exactas in the first race 5 with 1, 3. That was a heartbreaking loss, but I did have the exact in another contest. Then I played a try, which I know something that Matt probably would not do, but there's a reason why I played this try, Jackson, is because I had a lot of money into One Magic Philly in first and second. So this was like a backup in case she finished in third. So I keyed One Magic Philly in a pretty big try there in third in case she finished third. And then I did have the exacta 2-6 in that race as well. You could say I went 2-6, 7-6. And then that was the Shred the Gnar, One Magic Philly. And then I hit a try just for $16 for 160. Keying Time for Trouble, the 5 in third. I keyed that horse in second, third, and hit one of my favorite bets, the reverse try key. Look, $100, $200, you never know. That might come into play there. And I just played a minimum. Matt, explain why people do not see my minimum double bet that I just lost on screen right now. That started with race 8.
Absolutely. It's until the bet is completed, it does not get subtracted from your balance. So here's another little chance for a good pro tip. As you get to the end of a tournament, betting daily doubles are a good way of kind of hiding how much you might have already bet. It's very hard to know what someone's balance is if they could have bet doubles. Look, if the 4 horse in the last race had won, and the leaderboard right now would look very different. But my biggest fear would be the doubles that people started there that I can't see yet until the second half is completed. I suppose there's a risk that people bet doubles in that last race, but given how few people moved on the leaderboard, it doesn't seem like that was too popular a pick. But it's funny. And if you click on my entry, Howard, for a second, you'll see I had the same thing where I had hit for, what was it, 23, 20, So I had hit for 785.
Yeah.
And I bet a $100 double in the next race. I got a little spooked by the 10. I bet a $100 double. And so I bet 685. It took a full another race before that $100 got subtracted. So it looked like I just bet the $100 recently, but I had bet it 2 races ago. Bottom line is doubles don't subtract right away. Use that knowledge to your benefit at the end of these contests. It gets very, very tricky in terms of figuring out how much money does somebody have? Are they betting to win? It's a good opportunity for a head fake. And the doubles in the contest, from the comment in the chat, look, there's also a slight premium you get paid on doubles. I'm missing the reference there. Sorry.
I was head faking. Jesus.
Oh, the head fakes. That's not. Wait.
Real athlete we got there, Jackson. That was more of a shot fake. The head fake would be.
Head fake.
Hey, Matt, we got a question from Sylvain before we start losing people. And then, Jackson, I want you to talk about the next race and what you would suggest people do. Look, we're trying to beat Matt Miller now. So I know Matt, definitely, that's why we're here. Not to beat Matt Miller, let me be clear, but to give people advice, Jackson. So we'd love to hear from you just a minute. I appreciate your patience. Question from Sylvain at the bottom of the screen. Great question. Hi, Matt. Twinspires, by the way, one word, Twinspires.
I know that now. Yeah.
Would let you transfer NHC win to someone else? Yes or no, Matt?
No. The NHC.
Sorry, Sylvain.
The NHC is personal. You have to win your way in. It's the only thing like it. Every other one of these tournaments, pretty much, if you're dumb enough to put down the money, they'll let you in. This one, you actually have to have won something. You can. So let's take today's contest as an example. You could have won your way into today's contest and transferred that, because this is just a $500 qualifier. But the NHC seat itself, once you've won it, that's yours to keep. You can't give it away. There may be some rules about deferring it if you have a hardship. I don't want to promise anything for the NTRA, but someone that gets married or sets a wedding date not knowing it's, frankly, the course players should be ashamed of themselves if they make that mistake. That's fine, because that's going to repeat until that marriage is over. It's a repeating problem every year.
Yikes! So. All right. Okay, Jackson. Actually, we should. While I'm doing this, can one of you guys look up to see if Noah made a play there? Our wonderful co-host.
Noah's waiting
on the leaderboard.
Noah's playing this race. Noah's playing this race.
He's going to play this race. He did nothing, but he's playing this race coming up, you said. Okay.
I won't say because I don't know if he wants me to or not, but he is playing this race.
Okay. Don't say what he's going to do. Yeah. I'll leave that up to him. Okay. All right, let's talk about race 9. Now, by the way, I have 4 minimums taken care of. So obviously I'm going to make another play or two, and it's going to be a big play. And I'd rather not say right now where I'm going to do it until after this race is over. So, but anyway, I lost $25 in that race. No big deal to me. Race 9 is one of these difficult 7 furlong races. And oh, by the way, in case people care, and I don't mean to make this about myself, but hey, I'm the host. I did have the 6 in a backup pick 5. I played 2 pick 5s on the side because that's what I do. I used the 6 on my backup ticket, and I am alive in the pick 4 at 8-1. So guys, when it's maker, I had to use the horse. I mean, but there's a long way to go in my horizontals. And really we're here to, try to get to the NHC today. All right, Jackson, let's go on to the next race, my friend. This is where we need you. Again, another starter allowance. This is 7 furlongs on the dirt. I apologize. The purse is $125K. What are your thoughts on this race, Jackson?
Yeah, the problem with all the people that are chasing Matt right now is they have 3 races to choose from, and all 3 are just wide open. I mean, you could so easily whiff on all 3 of these races, this race included. I think the weird thing about this race is the pace scenario, because there's really not that much of it. I guess the 4 is the main speed, and I'll talk about it in a second. That's the horse I did pick on top. Maybe the 3 goes with them and the 14, but other than that, I mean, there's not a whole lot of speed. And I guess sometimes when you have these giant fields, they can get, dragged along a little bit, but that's the big question for a lot of these horses. The other big question for a lot of these horses is a lot of them are coming out of longer races. So we do talk about the cutback angle quite a bit. I usually prefer the cutback angle though into races when it's a cutback horse running against a bunch of sprinters. That's not really the case here. You have a lot of cutback horses that are all cutting back, and the one sprinter is the 4. The 4 is the one horse that's going to go to the front by running the 6 furlong races. I'm not going to be surprised if we see this race shape up like the race 2 back that we saw in the dirt, where the speeds went so fast and they just dragged everybody along with them, and it kind of took out the kick of all the other horses, because as fast as they went up front, those closers had to go even faster too, and they couldn't go as fast. They couldn't finish like they wanted to. So I'm on the 4 here. Not my strongest opinion ever, but I did have this horse on top. And as Kyle shows up, let's go.
Shalom. What's up?
Kyle Roscoe, host of Ben and Boozin, wearing his Crown's Way representing his Churchill Downs Kentucky Derby 150 T-shirt from the Bayside Bunker. Is that what we're calling it?
Bayside Bunker. Yeah, we're going with that. I think it'll work
Kyle?
out really well. Good. Good. Having a blast. What's better than gambling with the boys on a Saturday afternoon?
There you go. Matt's in first place. I'm in 12th. Very much in the mix here. We got 3 races left. Jackson likes the 4. Kyle, get your opinions in just a second. We're in race 9. Who else do you like here, Jackson?
I think the other obvious horse I thought at least was the 7, My Noble Knight, and he is taking some money. It looks like he's going to be the second choice by the time the gates open. Just a horse that, if you're looking at all, he's the perfect kept back candidate. You look at all his routes. He's making these moves, getting tired late. He's making these moves, losing ground late. Making moves, losing ground late. I mean, he's got cutback written all over him. The one turn race he ran this year came at Saratoga, out of the Wilson chute, and he won by 11 with a 95 buyer. So I do think this is what he's always wanted to do. He just got to work out a trip from off the pace.
Your thoughts, Kyle? I'm assuming you looked at this race. Gilmore, this was a top pick, I believe, by Pete Visco and Paul Halloran on our Thursday show. I was a little bit against him. I knew he was going to take a lot of money. 2-1 in this field seems low, but distance not a problem. Actually turning back a little bit. Should be forward. Not an easy post, though, in a big field. I don't mind outside posts going 7, but, if you don't break great, or you could be wide if it doesn't work out.
Well, right, and that's exactly the case here. Gilmore's not necessarily one of those horses, though, that wants to be, right up on the lead. So outside post might not be too much of an issue, but I was also against. This is just one of those horses that, granted, he's gotten a lot better, actually. He's gotten older for Joe Sharp. Remember, this horse was, early in his career was very, hit or miss, per se, but he's kind of found a form here in the last couple. But I just feel like, especially at 2-1, Howard, 5-2 now will probably end up around 2-1. I feel like there's just a bunch of others that have run very, very similar races to him that you can get a better price on.
I agree. Matt, what's your time frame, by the way? I know that you have to leave relatively soon here.
I'm good for about 5 or 10 minutes. I won't see the race, but I can stick around a bit.
Okay, terrific. Keen Cat is my top pick, guys, in this race. And I'm not surprised that his morning line price has been cut in half here. Jackson, again, another turn back. Randy Morris, when this horse runs, he runs very well. I don't mind the layoff here. I mean, he's worked 3 very strong works. They're obviously actually several good works, but he's been working, 1, 2, 3. I see 5 works leading into this race. They're obviously pointed here. Hernandez knows this horse. This is another horse similar to the 11. Might be a little bit further back than Gilmore. Jackson, but it's got plenty of numbers that fit here.
He does. He's another very logical contender. There's no doubt he loves it here at Churchill Downs. You see what he's done here. He's been an exact all 4 starts. Beat Gilmore 2 back. Sorry, and Gilmore they've exchanged 2 and 3 back. They exchanged 1-2 finishes. The one concern I had about him, and I know we all had him in that May 18th race, and that was the 1 turn race where he was a big favorite. He had a phenomenal trip. He got the lead and he got run down late by Gilmore. Then he went back to 2 turns and he won immediately again. So I wonder if he might be a little better going the 2 turns. I'm not sure 7 furlongs is necessarily what he wants to do, but there's no doubt if he runs his race, he's going to have a shot.
And then you got Nation coming from, originally the West Coast, or Bob Hess, a guy you know well. Jackson is a West Coast guy. And Matt, this is another horse that can win with IRAD. I don't think this horse should be 7-2 at all. This to me, Matt, and again, I'm not sure how deeply you look at some of these races now that you're sort of literally show-laxing. 7-2 is silly money to me. If it wasn't IRAD, I think this horse is 7-1. I don't like this horse at all, and I'm shocked that I'm not shocked he's 7-2. I just think, respectfully, this is bad money.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting the right price for it. It seems to be short on figures. The horse you were talking about right before this, I love the point you made. And I never always remember the word, but I'd say equivalency is the right word. Just look how close Keen Cat and Gilmore are together on those 2 races in a row. They swap, one wins, one loses. Why in the world would one be 2-1 here and one be 4-1 or whatever? And I get it, there's a layoff. Maybe that accounts for the extra risk or whatever, but I love looking for, I know people think I bet favorites only. It's not the case. And I love looking at a horse that could be 4-1 instead of 2-1 if they look the same on paper to me.
Kyle, I think the reason might be what Jackson's talking about is that maybe King Cat is better going a little bit longer. By the way, King Cat is by Keen Ice. What a horse that was, beating in the Travers, one of the biggest upsets in the history of the Travers, beating Pharaoh, of course. King Cat won a little bit longer. Kyle, in your opinion, you agree with Jackson on that?
Stinky brought that up, but I do think he's just one of those horses that can be versatile no matter what. I mean, you go back to granted, it was the end of last year, but he won very convincingly at this type of 7 furlong distance as well. Obviously starter allowance for the claiming crown is different than starter allowance, just on a normal day at Churchill. However, he has handled this 7 furlongs really well. So the fact that he might be a little bit better, but his best at 7 furlongs is probably still good enough to be very competitive in this field. So King Cat was my top pick in this race, and I had Nation in second, but I couldn't agree with you more, Howard. I know you pay the IRAD tax at 7-2, but I'd never on the win end would I be betting that horse at 7-2.
I'll tell you what, guys, unlimited potential I don't love, but 15-1 is way too big, in my opinion. I know it's a brutal post. I get it. He's got some numbers that fit too. Jackson, it's just, it feels like no one should be lower than 5-2 in this race. And right now you've got Gilmore at 2-1. There's a lot of ways you can go, and the favorites have outside posts. Again, there's nothing necessarily wrong going outside post, going 7, Jackson, but they do have to work out something from there.
Yeah, I think in these one-turn races, it's not necessarily the worst trip, especially if you can be tactical.
Yeah,
it'd be more worrisome if you're a horse that comes from way out of it, especially on this track. Churchill is usually the rare dirt track where the inside is probably a little bit better than being outside. But a horse like the 14, I think it's not going to be a problem for him because, as we said, he is quite quick. He's probably the one that could challenge the 4 horse for the front end. All
right, Jackson, let's play. And Kyle, let's play this game. You are anywhere. Let's focus on people that are trying to get to second. In other words, let's not focus on 2, 3, 4 on the leaderboard. Let's focus on people like Greg Lewis, excellent handicapper at 900, James 840, Nick Sievers 790, even myself down to 526. We're trying to get to, 1500-ish. Would you personally recommend a play in this race, Jackson?
If where am I at? I'm around 1,000-ish.
Yeah, let's say you're 7, 8, 900. You need, 400 or 500 behind, or 600 behind a target score of, let's say, 1500-ish.
I mean, unless I loved something in this race, if you love something, I would play. If you don't, I think you want to let this race play out, get a little bit more information on the leaderboard, and then go from there in the next 2 races, because then you'll be able to get a better idea of what you really need to shoot for. And because you don't know, what if 2 people hit for another $1,000 in this race, and all of a sudden there's 3 people at $2,500, and then you're live for doubles into 1,500, and that doesn't do anything for you. So again, it all depends on your opinion. If you love something, go for it. If not, this is probably a race I'd be playing pretty lightly.
If you love a horse, set it free, set it free. Music reference for people who don't know. Matt knows for sure. The younger guys might not know. Kyle, prize pool is official now. There is a big difference between first and second. I mean, $8,000 is nothing to sneeze at for first. 3,200 for second. That's what, a $4,800 difference. It does pay down to 6, but of course, the top 2 is what people are shooting for. Kyle, do you agree with Jackson? In your personal opinion, you make a big play here if you love something, or maybe you wait a little bit if you're trying to get into the top 2?
Yeah, I mean, because no matter what, if you love something, you're going to get the price needed to be able to move up into somewhere, going for second, especially if you're at that $700, $800, $900 range. But if you don't, it's just one of those races that Matt likes to call the icky races, where he looks at it and goes, it's all over the place. I can't pick one from the other, and you just move on with it. But I mean, you're thinking about the prize pool, Howard. I mean, yeah, $4,800. You think about it in poker standards, right? You think about big blinds. This is a $500 buy-in tournament. I mean, that's 9x big blinds. So that's a big difference between the top two. So obviously people are going to be shooting for first, but they're going to have to catch the man on the screen if they want to get to that prize.
Loving the poker reference. I love it, Kyle.
Me too.
Boy, it gets my juices flowing to think about it. Let's take me, for example. I've got 520. I mean, if I loved one of these top choices at 3-1 and I just decided to gun it, I'm right exactly where I need to be.
All of it.
If I were to do that. Now, I'm not going to, I would recommend anyone don't play like $100, don't do 200. If you love something, you got to push here big time. I'm just going to say, Matt, I guess we can say this, right? I mean, I do want to ask you a question. Actually, let me ask you a question, Matt, before you leave. The difference between helping out people and colluding. And I know we do need to go down the rabbit hole because I don't want anyone to think that anyone on the screen is colluding with anyone else, or I'm working with you, or we're all playing our own thing. But can you just talk as a lawyer too, former lawyer, always a lawyer, I suppose, talk about the difference between helping out a friend, I don't mean financially, I mean with advice, and actual colluding in a contest very quickly, and then I know you got to go.
Yeah, it's easy. It's you can get advice from whoever you want. You can get picks, you can get betting strategies, you could buy books, you could listen to podcasts, you could talk to the guy at the table across from you, you could talk to someone on the phone. What do you think here? It turns into collusion when these are two people both in the contest using the information they are getting from each other to benefit one or the other. Yeah, there you go, Jackson. To benefit one or the other. So for someone, if I've been knocked out of a contest and someone calls and says, I'll just do whatever you say, what exacta do you like? I mean, first of all, I'm not the person you should call, but if they happen to listen to me, that's not collusion. That's just dumb. But it's only collusion when I say, I'll take the 4-5, you take the 4-6, and one of us should win this, and then we'll split the prize money. But otherwise, to be talking like this is, like I said, whether it's in the form of a tip sheet, whether it's in the form of a podcast, no one is sitting here splitting up horses or saying, I'll play this race, you play that one. Any of that kind of malarkey is totally out of bounds between people that are in the contest together. But
like, for example, right now, the 7, 11, 12, and 13 are all, between 5-2, and colluding would be 4 people saying, okay, I'm going to go all in to win on each one of those separate 4 all-in win bets on 4 separate entries on those 4 horses, or 2 people saying, I'm going to do all-in win bets on 2 of them. You do all win bets on the other 2, and doing that several times in the contest. Unfortunately, Matt, we have seen some nefarious stuff in the past that they've caught. But I appreciate your clearance on that, because the last thing we want to do is do something that's not right legally, obviously.
Agreed. Let me make one more point, getting back to a question from the chat, and then I really do got to go.
Yes.
Someone had asked, hey, how do you value these NHC seats for purposes of the way these contests work? The answer is it depends on which side of things you're on. If you are twinspires, and I don't know the exact number, the NTRA sells these NHC seats to those that host the tournaments. I don't know. I've heard numbers like $3,700, $3,800, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on that. I think where it gets weird is where 2 buddies have pooled their money together. They've entered the contest once. They win. And now they've won an NHC seat, and they say, all right, well, how do we value that for splitting it up? Yeah, you get all sorts of arguments. Some people think it's worth $5,000. Some people think it's worth the $3,700 that the track paid for it, or whatever that number is. The bottom line, though, is for purposes of the prize pool, there is no rake here. And so twinspires is taking the money put into the prize pool, paying for 2 NHC
horses have reached a starting
and then
age.
giving us the rest in cash. All right, I'm going to take that cue from Travis Stone. I'm going to go. Good luck, everybody. Have a good day.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. Good luck to you. Take care.
All right.
All right, so you guys are going to hear the sound here. We got race 9. Guys, I am not making a play. I am skipping this race. Just let everyone know. Obviously, I'm gonna have to play the one of the last two races mandatory.
Yep.
I personally like King Cat, who is the 12, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Correct.
at 7-2. Gilmore 2-1, guys. We got the 7 is 5-1. Where's the value, real quick, Jackson?
Waiting for My Noble Knight and Freedom Stance. Unlimited Potential, Penrod, and Air Cav.
Soze, right?
Francisco Martinez.
Okay, 12-1. Good luck, everyone. Race 9, third to last race
And
here
now
at
the
Churchill
last one
Downs.
will be
claiming
Air
Crown Day.
Cav to complete the field.
Travis Stone with the call.
They're in the gate, and they're off. And a good start for Nation, who breaks out on top with a limited potential, showing some early speed. Soze down toward the inside is out there too. So they make that bend left to the main track, and Soze's out there leading the way. Freedom stands right there second. Nation is third. Mia Comet toward the inside fourth. American Outlaw right up and on the pace in fifth. A length back, My Noble Knight running along in sixth. Unlimited Potential moves up into seventh. Global Sensation is back into eighth down the backstretch run. Lemon Drop Shot moves up inside from ninth with
Gilmore's
King Cat
in last,
there, 10th,
guys.
Air Cav far outside 11th.
Yep. And
And then it's Penrod, and at the back of the pack is Gilmore. Gilmore's at the back of the pack and is 12 lengths off the lead, and a 22 2/4 to chase round the far turn. The leader is Soze, and right alongside is Nation, and the two of them head and head as they come outside the quarter pole. Unlimited Potential rallies third on the outside. My Noble Knight comes wide for the stretch drive. Mia Comet's in behind horses. Global Sensation far outside, furlong to go. Nation kicked away quickly. Nation turned back the challengers, opened up by 5 in a matter of strides. My
Look who
Noble
has their
Knight
horse in the
runs up
perfect
in a
spot.
second, but they're coming down to the finish, and Nation crushed them.
I mean,
Sharp winner was Nation. My Noble Knight up for second.
there's not many jockeys that can get them from the 13 hole into the perfect spot. I'd say probably 92% of the time. It's ridiculous.
122. Nation went off. I didn't like the source at all. I could not have been more wrong. 6-1. IRAD just ridiculous. A great trip. Was not really bet down. In fact, the money came late to others, Jackson. A really bad 2-1 on Gilmore. If you like Gilmore, unfortunately, made a late run. The 7, who I liked a little bit, also just wasn't that far back, Jackson. I mean, Nation just ran a hole in the wind. There's really not much to say.
Yeah, just a horse that's clearly getting better. And as Kyle kind of said, all the credit goes to IRAD because it didn't seem like they were going that fast. And Nation is usually a horse that comes from a little off of it, but he said, I'm putting him into the race today. And he still had plenty of kick left because they didn't go that fast. And he was very much the best there. No
like I
doubt.
said, he went from 5.5 Jackson last, out in the West Coast to 7 at Keeneland, and he was a little bit closer last time. So staying at the 7 now, and that's what I think Bob Hess is now 3 for 3 at this meet now. So
I'm chuckling because three of the 4 horses I had my pick 3 or pick 4 and pick 5, of course, finished 2, 3, 4. It came 13, 7, 14, 12. I wouldn't say this track is speed favoring Jackson, but other than the first race of the day, I can't think of a horse that's really closed them deep. Can you?
The second race, the horse came from the clouds as well.
Okay.
The 3. But the last couple have been a little speedy, yeah. But again, it's not like, well, I guess the only race they really flew and kept going was race 7. Next girl and Sadie to go. I'm ignoring what Kyle just did. They went fast and kept going. But other than that, I think it's been pretty fair.
I guess the thing you could say also too, Howard, is the horses that have been out in front have realistically been it's not been like absolute bombs that have been on the lead and winning.
Yeah.
It's been pretty formful, but however, it still has been, towards the lead. But that's just where the good horses have been.
I don't want to sound, like a knucklehead. I mean, I was completely wrong about this race, guys. We have to call it like it is. I just don't know where that race comes from. I'm just going to flat out. I don't know where that major early speed came from, drawing off, and it was by far his best race, not even close.
Yeah, like I said, the only thing that you can see on the screen realistically is he's been that far back. Going 5.5, 6, gets the extra furlong and gets a little closer. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with you. Granted, we didn't like him at 7-2, Howard. Obviously, 6-1's a little bit of a
yeah,
different
for
story.
sure.
in that regard. But no, I don't think you said anything wrong necessarily, but considering that you might just be getting better. But yeah, on paper, that would be tough to spot.
I don't think I'll have to look at time form. I know you're a believer of it. Well, both of you guys. I don't think they had the 13. No, I mean, look, time form is just one measurement. 13 is supposed to be mid-pack guys. I mean, the 14 was supposed to be where the 13 was, excuse me, and vice versa. You're absolutely right about the 4, Jackson. If you like the 4, you got your cheap thrill. I mean, you got out to the lead, just wasn't classy enough and just didn't kick on with it. But I mean, I will say one thing, and then we're going to move on. Let me put us back on screen here. I think there is something to be said for a horse that comes from west to east or east to west and has a race, guys, over a local track. I mean, Nation was at Keeneland, but obviously there is some acclimation necessary to go from the West Coast to the Midwest. And he wasn't given that time. Like if he just got off the plane, guys, from Del Mar, I don't think he would have run that race, in my opinion. Do you have any thought on that, or is just completely situational based on the characteristic of the horse, guys?
Go ahead, Jackson, just because obviously west to east coast.
No, I hear what you're saying, Howard, and because especially with the way he won, he around Statfield. So I do think he's a horse that has just been thriving in Kentucky. Obviously, he's getting better, and it's just been working out. Whether it's the new training, whether it's the location change, whether it's the weather, whatever it is, they're doing something right, and they got to keep doing it because that was impressive. And,
well, if anyone liked it, we're going to go to the leaderboard here in a second, Kyle. Sorry, I'll let you talk here in a sec. If you like Nation, Kyle, because of here we go again. If you want to complain about AEWs, there are these situations too that we need to take note of, right? Mm-hmm. This horse was what, 4-1, 9-2, went off at 6-1, Kyle. So if people want to complain about AEWs, like I hear you, but sometimes it goes the other way. This is one of those ways that it went the other way. People, you absolutely got paid if you like Nation, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We see it all the time. There's all these late odd drops now in the game, and it's just, obviously you see them all going one way because that's the one that everyone complains about, and rightfully so, in my opinion. But you also get some like this that go up. So it's always a give and take. Everything's a yin and yang. Obviously in the game today, but yeah, if you trust him in the contest, and there was someone in the chat that I thought made a very, very good point. John Gaspar made a really good point. That was
John's here. Terrific.
Yep. He said, I'll actually bring it up right now. He said that he disagrees with Jackson just in the realm of you want to be betting in races where other people aren't. So, in a race like that where a lot of people don't have a lot of big opinions, he said if you had 7 to 900, he'd be betting 3 different horses here. Arguably the 13 could have been one of those. Said hard to differentiate in the last 2 races. And that could be, one way to do it. So I thought that was well said from him, just in terms of, a lot of people are going to look at that board and say, oh, shoot, that's a little scary. But then Chris Couples obviously pointing out, saying that, both of them, the odds changes suck, but no one mentions the positive ones. It's just like everything else in life, Everyone complains about the negative things. You rarely hear about the positive stuff.
Well, there's a pretty good move here, guys. We got to talk about James Orban moves up 5 spots. It is now in 2nd place. Congratulations to him. Let's see what he did, guys. That's what I love about these contests. Let's see what James did in race 9. Interesting. He played a try, and he keyed the 7 in 2nd, 3rd. I love that play. Let me put myself back on screen. I know I'm competing against James. James loved the play. He liked the 7. He put the horse in all 3 spots. Yep. He keyed the 7 guys in all 3 spots. I love that play. Worked out. He did it doesn't say how much the try. I'm assuming that's the dollar try. I'm assuming. Cash for 670. I love it. I love that play. Right. Exactly, Jackson. Here we go again. Congrats to him. He is now in 2nd place. So 1426 is the number you're shooting for here. Guys, we have 2 races. So I lost $30, $25. I'm at 500. I got to hit, obviously, and I got to do it soon. I am making a play here in this race, guys. So I'm going to respectfully, this is the great thing, Kyle, because you have control as well as I do of the show here, so to speak, with StreamYard, so our software. I'm going to let you sort of take over the show. Actually, I'm going to put myself off screen, Kyle, and Jackson for about 3 or 4 minutes here to evaluate my situation because I am playing this race. So I'll let you take it over, Kyle. I'll be back in a few minutes. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks.
Sounds good. Look at that. All right. Now, what do we do, Jackson? The boss man's away, so what do we do?
We can do whatever we want, man. We're in
Gotta
charge.
throw a party or
Not
something.
that far away.
I will say, I did wanted to add on to what we were talking about. And I was having this conversation with Chris Couples yesterday. I want to hear what you have to say about it. I think the narrative around Irad Ortiz not being an aggressive rider needs to change because he's clearly changed. He has clearly changed his game from what I've seen, especially the last couple of months. And he's been very, very aggressive, especially on the dirt. And that was a perfect example of it. He took a horse that likes to be mid-pack and he put him up on the lead and took advantage of it. And that is not the first time he's done that the last few weeks. So I do think he's changed that aspect of his game for the better.
I'll tell you what, if people believe that narrative, Jackson, they probably should have dashed those doubts at the Breeders' Cup, considering a bunch of rides that he put on in there. But yeah, no, he's just, honestly, I like the fact that when he has to sit, he's good, obviously. Yeah. And that's not saying anything, outside the realm by any means, that he's good at being able to rate his horses. But when he needs to put his horses into a spot, he does it very, very well. And again, he wins 25% throughout the entirety of the 365. So I'm not saying anything groundbreaking by any means, but I do agree with you completely that, a lot of people think he can be too passive at times, but there's times like that where, he notices, he reads the program. He sees that the horse has been farther back. Last time was able to be a little bit closer. So puts him right in the race. And again, even with, you could argue that you could probably see him winning on paper if he took another step forward, but winning by 6, that might be a little bit out there in terms of trying to find the winner of this race. I'll tell you what, Jackson, this next race, we got a 6-5 favorite on the open up here, being the number 12 Navajo Warrior. Again, Irad Ortiz Jr., but Safi bringing this one in here. And I can bring up the picks here. We have 2 scratches of the 8 and the 9 in this one, which I believe allows some horses to draw in here in the 15 and 16. That's what I'm sure you guys have hinted on this before I got on, but that's what's the beauty of this claiming crown is how many horses have the ability to be put into these spots. So we had fields of 14, multiple also eligibles coming in. So it still stays a field of 14, but a ton of money early going on this number 12 Navajo Warrior. And
I felt like it was kind of deserving. He's a really, really cool horse. All he does is show up and he wins. And we talked about him on a show earlier this week. He is the classic example of the light bulb angle because he was out in Southern California. He could not win a race to save his life. He was running his low-level races, couldn't win. Finally won one race, and it just switch, and he has been nothing short of phenomenal since then. He's just going up the ladder, winning every time. He's winning off the slow paces and winning off of fast paces. He's just such a cool horse, very easy to root for, and it's easy to see why he's taking so much money in this spot.
And look at this. See, we lose the boss man, and now all the fun people come on. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
What's going on, guys? What's going on? How are we doing today?
Good.
Did you have Nation?
I did have Nation. I singled that horse in the late pick 3. So nice. We're moving right along. Irad at 6-1. Nothing wrong with that.
No, how about Irad at 6-5?
Before the race. That was cool.
Well, I wasn't on here before the show because.
But you were texting me about other things.
I was texting you about other things. Yes. Yeah. That I was.
Good wingman strategy there, Ryan. Good gatekeep. Anyway, obviously,
just how about taking after our boy Noah?
Yeah, isn't that only on Sundays though? 6-5. On go from 6-1 to 6-5 on Irad here. Jackson was saying it's very deserved, and this is a fun horse to root for. Obviously, a horse that was out there on the West Coast for Tim Yakteen, who just could not win a race. And then once he did, obviously something was figured out.
Yeah, if there was ever an argument for the light bulb angle, it's this horse. I mean, this horse figured things out and just started rattling off wins out on the West Coast. And the same pattern that we just saw with Nation, who had a couple wins after shipping out east. This is the same horse. Has a couple wins after shipping to Saratoga and then to Churchill Downs. So has a win over the track. Doesn't have a win at this exact distance, but has a win going 2 turns. I mean, very deserved favorite for Irad, who has won 4 today.
I think that sounds right?
One
But
of few.
I'd have to look it up. I'm not sure, but
I believe he's right on that. But again, not groundbreaking considering that it's crazy that happens, double-digit times on the year that he wins 4.
So I'm back. I made my bet. I probably should wait a little bit to see what the odds are, but I know what I want to do, and I'm just going to do it. If I have to go back in 12 minutes and make some changes, I'll do that. There's 2 races left, guys, and the NHC seats are absolutely up for grabs. Dare I say, I wouldn't say Matt Miller is home yet, because look, if people want to be super aggressive, again, the first place prize, and Ryan, welcome to the show, by the way. Thanks for joining us. Ryan Anderson, of course, does a great job, co-host of Business Horse Players, but he is host and creator and founder, along with Jackson, of the Gallop Out, and also does some great work in the past for Delmar and ABR and a whole bunch of other people's FanDuel, etc. We're watching the race right now, Kyle. What are we watching?
Shoot, sorry that they're replaying it on there.
Oh, okay.
I always forget that when you're the host, but I'm controlling. I apologize.
That's I can go back to controlling if that makes
good.
things a little easier for you.
Oh, good.
So guys, we got 2 races left, and Ryan, the first place prize here. Let me bring that up on the screen. Go ahead and take yours off, Kyle. I'm going to bring up my. Sorry guys.
I got you. You're good.
Let me share my screen, everyone. We're just doing a little flipping around here. Ryan, first place. We talked about this before you came on, my friend. $8 grand.
I've been watching for an hour.
Oh, terrific. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you in the chat.
I've been tuned in.
People that are aggressive, Ryan, why not? I mean, the difference between 8,000 and 3,200 is huge.
I mean, yeah, it's a pretty big difference. We're talking about almost about $5 grand. So
yep.
Gotta go for first. You gotta Ricky Bobby this thing. If you're not first, you're last.
Yep. Let's go to some people in the chat, guys, and then we're going to get to the race itself. We've got at MKT1847. I think it'll take around 2,500 to end up in the top 2 for the HCC, but obviously depends on who wins the last races. I think that's a pretty good guess. It's tricky to say. We got Gatekeeper saying hello. It's
Is
Katie.
that Noah's burner?
I'm sorry?
We were joking around with Noah likes to, not keep his horses to himself and then bet them. And then once they win, then he's like, oh yeah, I was all over that horse.
By the way, where is our Noah Maher? Let's see, where is he? He just lost?
Resident West Coast by.
They just got knocked out?
He had the 7 in second with.
Oh no, Noah. Well, we got to show his plays, right? I mean, So, no, good learning experience. Let's see what he did here. He went all in. I like it. He had exactas. Oh, geez. Oh, he didn't like the West. Wow. He didn't like the former West Coast Bob Hess horse, Jackson and Ryan. He had the right idea. He had the 7 all over the place. Just didn't have with the 13. I mean, that's got to be, that's sort of like great handicapping. Well, I shouldn't say great because didn't have the 13, but right idea just didn't quite come through, Jackson and Ryan. That's a real bummer for Noah.
Yeah, and again, I know he texted me this morning. This was his big opinion, and he made a play that reflected that, and it just didn't work out, and that's going to happen. There's nothing to overthink. You took a shot with your best horse. It just didn't work out this time.
He clearly didn't like the 13, though, guys. I mean, obviously, right?
So I'd say obviously his play was right, Jackson, because he wanted to key somewhere around the 7. Obviously Dutching doubles with 7 in first and in second, just didn't use the right horse that ended up winning the race. That's
exactly. Yeah.
Look,
so let me ask you guys this, and maybe Howard, you don't have to say too much because you're in contention, but you're near the top 10-ish, and there's 2 seats. Are you targeting the person in second right now, or are you guys targeting Matt's number? And Howard, you don't have to say too much because this is more of a Kyle and Ryan question.
Well, Ryan already gave us the Ricky Bobby answer, so I know what he's gonna do. But
I'd probably. The problem with that though is there's 2 seats. It's not your first or your last. Yeah. There's 2 seats in here. Although there is more cash, but
I'd probably target about 2,000. So maybe like about not at Matt's number, but above. You don't want to obviously aim for 1,400, right? Because people are going to be able to make that jump, and if they're going to be, especially if you're betting, favorites, stuff like that, horses that a lot of people in theory should have. You want to aim for a little bit higher of a number. And obviously MKT said 2,500. I feel like that's anywhere in the 2,000 to 2,500 range. I feel like should be your aim when coming into this type of thing, just to be able to secure yourself second in case someone does make a jump.
Right.
Guys, I think I think the key to this race, I know you were handicapping a little before, but the key to me of this entire race is the 10 Burning Hot and the 13 Point Doom. And are they wide on the first turn? Do they hook up? Do they let one of them go? If one of them gets loose somehow, that changes the entire complexion of this race. If they battle, which I expect at least some hitting up front, guys, I think that sets up for others. The tricky thing with Navajo Warrior here, Kyle and Jackson and Ryan, is he's in between the two speeds and he's more like mid-pack. Irad is one of the best riders in the world. I'm not sure this scenario is great because he's not a dead closer. He wants to be a little more forward, but he's got speed all around him. So to me, the break is huge for Navajo Warrior. The first, like, literally 5 steps out of the gate. Any of you could take that thought.
I would actually argue it's fine. You want speed to your inside if you're drawn outside on an off the pace.
What about the outside speed, Jackson, pressing down on him possibly?
But he's not going to be contending with them. He's just going to let them go. He's going to be behind them. So you want to get as inside as possible from out there.
But I do understand the point that, like, if Navajo Warrior breaks well, right, not even that he's fast necessarily out of the gate. Obviously, he doesn't want to be on the lead. But if he breaks well out of the gate and is in between those two horses, they're pack animals. They want to run with each other. Obviously, Irad's going to have the say in that to try and take him back. But I feel like it's a decent concern. But however, I feel like if he wants to be somewhere mid-pack, it should be okay. I mean, he's clearly the class of the field, and if he gets anywhere half decent trip with Irad aboard, he should be able to win this race.
Look at Kyle getting cheeky in our private chat, trying to predict what I'm going to do.
I would for it.
Guys, this is not a secret because we have a fantastic. Well, let's talk about it real quick. We have a great tip sheet, guys. Power Picks tip sheet. If you're not familiar with it, please look into it. You go to Patreon. It's at the bottom of the screen. Patreon.com/HHH Racing Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this tip sheet is only $5 a weekend. You get it on Saturdays. You get a lot of great information. It's a documented ROI of over $2 the last 5 years. And guys, my play of the day is on there. So it's no secret. And it's in this race, and it's not the 12. I like the 2 a lot here. I like Cadet Core quite a bit. And the main reason I like the 2 guys, other than the fact that he fits, is that he's not going to be wide. I mean, he's almost guaranteed not to be wide in the first turn. Others may or may not be wide. I have a lot of respect for Kelly Breen. He does not send horses to Churchill very often, guys. And I think the 2 is absolutely fascinating. And I'm getting, 5-1? Let's see, what am I getting? 5-1 right now on this horse. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to lie to the public here. Obviously, I'm doing something with this horse in the contest. If it's my play of the day, that doesn't mean that's the only horse I'm using. Or, I mean, there's a zillion ways, Jackson and Ryan, that I could bet this horse. But Ryan, give me your thoughts on Cadet Core. By the way, has Junior in the saddle, Junior Alvarado.
Yeah, Alvarado in town to ride Ragtime, who finished a hard trying third, but got some other good mounts on the card.
Yeah.
I get the point on this horse. I do. His numbers maybe have to take a slight step up. That effort 2 back at Colonial definitely fits, given that was around one turn. But
I agree.
I mean, yeah, the numbers fit, and the trip he's going to sit is the trip that Navajo Warrior projects to sit, and some of the others he's drawn inside, so he should save more of that ground. But maybe that could also lend itself to trouble. But again, he has the right run style for this race, because I believe the 1 from the rail is going to go. I think the 3 has some. I mean, there's not. This race is not lacking in speed, so I think he should get the trip. He should get a setup, but you do have to,
well, the 1 has to go, right, Ryan? The 1's got to go.
Agreed.
Right. So this thing could heat up. This is what I'm saying. The break is really important. Now, Jackson, again, I'm not going to say my play, but if I love the 2 with my bankroll at 500, I could easily just send it all in on the 2 and get to where I need to go. That is an option for people if they like the 2 and if they have that kind of bankroll.
Yeah, and I would argue that's the smartest play if it really is your play of the day. And this is the horse that's at a price that you were able to get to a winning total potentially. If you're right, then yeah, that's probably what you're supposed to do in that situation.
He is a little slower. He's already 6. He's not been at Churchill. I mean, there's a reason why he's 5-1, guys, right? But he is second? He's second choice right now. It's not like I'm actually 6-1 now. He's up to. It's not like I'm taking a stab here, Kyle.
Yeah,
he's second choice.
I mean, you're getting a price no matter where you look if you don't like the 12. Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I have this horse again. It's first, second choice. I have this horse second. I like this horse a lot too. Again, I agree that it might take a little bit step forward And I know a lot of your angles that, first time at Churchill, 6 years old, stuff like that. But you're getting the price, in my opinion, to find out, especially if you're trying to beat the favorite.
I agree. Now, guys, we should talk about the last race at least a little bit, because the last race, it looks on paper it could be 2 horses, the 3 or the 9. There are others, though. So I guess Jackson doubles are certainly in play with contest players as well if they want to go that route. Although last race is a big turf field and just crap happens in those races, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm realizing now, reading all the comments, that I probably phrased my question to you guys wrong. I meant if you are playing doubles and you're playing blind, like what target would you shoot for going into this race, knowing you're not going to be able to see the leaderboard in the last race? So my point was, would you target a number that passes Matt to put you into first, or would you target a number that puts you like around 2,000, like Kyle said, but then you're risking other people still passing you? So that was. Let me clear that up first of all. As far as the last race goes, I feel like the 9 was the horse. There's not a whole lot of speed in there. The 3 I have questions about, who's gotten some really good trips lately. Doesn't seem like he's going to get the same setup he's gotten like in his last couple of races. And the 9 is just, this race has got to be circled on this horse's calendar for.
Do you guys hear that sound, by the way? Or no? Do you hear the sound?
No.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to go ahead, Jackson. My bad.
Yeah, I feel like the 9 was the horse I would probably use. And if I was going to use someone else, it'd probably be the 4. My opinion in that race is that it's not going to be very fast up front. And those horses are just as fast on numbers as the favorite. And it seems like they have a pace advantage. So those are the 2 I was kind of looking at.
Is that the 4 and the 9? I'm sorry. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Yeah.
49ers.
Okay. Did you have an opinion of the last race, Ryan? Now, you guys covered this on the Gallop Out, correct? These last 5 races, or no? I'm trying to remember.
We covered the last 6, yes. So
okay. What was your thought, Ryan?
The last race, I really liked the 3, but there isn't a whole lot of pace in there. So it's not the strongest opinion. I thought the 4 Nantasket Beach certainly deserved a shot. And honestly, the more I look at the number 9, Echo Lane, it seems like a 2, maybe 3 horse race in the last, but it's got to be one of those 3, and you'd have to take a stand. So I'd probably take a stand with the 3. That's the horse I've been on all week, and I'm not going to change now. So that would be mine.
I'm assuming Ryan, the 3's favoring the doubles. Can one of you guys look that up, please? I'm assuming that's the case.
I'm on it right now.
All right. Again, we've got about 2 minutes to post. Again, you're watching the HHH Racing Podcast live, Weekend Warriors episode number 16. We're covering the NHC qualifier under Twin Spires. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, the 3 is a heavy favorite in the doubles.
Yeah, 3 is 9 is double the 3, and the 4 is 3 times the 3.
Yeah, easy math.
So okay, so we're looking at let me do some math. We're looking at probably 6 to 5, 5 to 2, 5 to 1 kind of situation.
Probably,
right, guys, by the math.
That
well, by what
right.
you said, that'd be, relatively accurate. Okay, very interesting, guys. They are circling behind the gates. Who gets the lead here, Jackson?
It's got to be the 10, right? I mean, Saez, this horse is full send, 1 chance is he's going to be sending to the front. Is he quick enough? Probably, unless someone else is just dead set on getting it. But it does seem like the 10 is the most likely candidate.
Rule
and
number
the 13
1
just sits right off, and the 12 is. I don't think I really want to be too far off here, guys. Maybe 4 or 5 off, right? Something like that.
Somewhere like second flight, probably somewhere in there, 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in that race.
I would say Cadet Corps will be somewhere around there as well. I would think. This is a 1 mile and 1/8. Is this the first? No, there's been some 2-turn. There's been 2-turn races already. You're at the race 1.
Mm-hmm.
What else was there, guys?
Race 6 was
a few.
Race
mile
2,
and
race
16.
6. There's been a few.
Bunch of them. Yep. Okay. This is, by the way, this used to be called like the Claim Crown Jewel. This is like the main race of the day, especially the dirt. What is this? 250, guys? Do I remember that correctly? Or 200?
200.
200. All right. They are about to enter the gate. Let me bring the sound up. Let me know if you guys hear it or not. Hold on. There's nothing to say yet. So we'll get we'll get the sound up here with Travis Stone on the call. It looks like the dusk is setting in at you guys hear that or no? Nope. Okay, it's because I got to do this. Sorry. Got to find a way to do that without now you guys will hear it. Actually, it's simple. I could just not have the TV portion on when I switch it. Anyway, dust settle in, guys. Of course, it's 5:25 Eastern time. Again, Howard Kravitz, Kyle Roscoe, Jackson Muniz, Ryan Anderson. This is exciting, guys. This is let me just say this. I am not all in, but pretty damn close. I want to save a little powder to see what the leaderboard looks like.
And the horses have reached the starting gate. It's post time.
People can disagree with that. That's fine. I want to see what the leaderboard looks like, guys. So if I don't hit what I need to, I can at least have something at the end. So, but I'm basically all in. Pretty much all in here. Good luck to everyone in the Twinspires contest. Again, 2 seats for the NHC.
And I will say there's a lot of good comments in the chat. Again, Marco, John Gasper, MKT, Chris Couples, Brad Anderson. Really appreciate you guys putting all your messages in the chat. We do read them. Obviously, we're talking about the race and stuff like that, but lots of good opinions and strategy in there. So thank you for doing that. And obviously keep it coming through the last race.
Yep. Hit that subscribe button. Please give us a thumbs up.
All
the bottom of the screen. Comments below the video player too. If you have any comments, anything you'd like to see differently, as our Weekend Warriors shows are going to be more focused now on contest play. Obviously, we're not going around different tracks throughout the country. I mean, Del Mar's not running, so what reason is there to go anywhere else?
Aqueduct ends at like 2 p.m. Central, so no, it's not too many places to go.
Ryan, you survive driving on the scary highway that's got a little water on it?
You're out of your mind if you think I'm driving with Southern California drivers anytime there's water in the air. Heck no. Everybody absolutely forgets how to drive as soon as there's any water. So I stay in my home.
I will say this is their loading. I only been in California one time playing real rain. Coincidentally, it's the first time I was at Santa Anita. They had a bad rainstorm right around Christmas, and I was going to be there for opening day, which was pushed back actually 2 days, about 5 years ago, if you guys remember that. And you are absolutely right. Kyle, people were going like 30 and it was like drizzling on the highway. Like, what are we doing? Anyway,
and in Chicago, it's negative 10 outside and snowing, and people are blazing down I-90 going 80.
All right, here we go. If I fist pump or any kind of bigger reaction than normal, I will not apologize, everyone, because we got NHC seats on the line. And even if I hit here, there's no guarantee, of course, I'm going to get there. But good luck to everyone.
Dr. Storm.
Race 10 for Churchill Downs.
They're in the gate, and they're off. Navajo Warrior off at mid-pack. It was a good start inside for Gilded Kraken, and Happy Strike is up there, burning hot with some early speed, too. Far outside is Point Doom as the 4 of them stack up across the track for the run to the opening turn, where Gilded Kraken tries to float them all a little bit wide there. 3 wide into the turn, and now he angles over toward the inside. Happy Strike is racing in second. Burning Hot 3 wide third. Point Doom 4 wide fourth. American Law from an outside post to the rail, 5th and saving ground. Dansimo's in 6th. Navajo Warrior 3 wide 7th. Make that double your money. Indeed, down inside is 8th. Alternate Reality 9th behind that flight. A break of 3 back to Walaka. Another 5 to Dr. Storm and Cadet Corps. Another 6 back to Brilliant Man and Overstatement. The last of the 14 after a half and 47 seconds flat. Happy Strike comes on to put a nose in front past the half-mile pole. Gilded Kraken working to keep up down inside. They're 1-2. Burning Hot just off them third. Dansimo 4th. Navajo Warrior appears on the scene, and Point Doom is wide and rallying. In the meantime, American Law stopping. Oh, what a trip for American Law, checking repeatedly down inside. In the meantime, Walaka comes alive with a wide sweep, and Dr. Storm at big odds coming with a wide sweep as well. It is anyone's race as they turn in. Burning Hot is up for a short lead. Dr. Storm down the center. Warlocka's in behind horses. And on the far outside, Cadet Corps is coming with a rally. Navajo Warriors stuck in behind. Final furlong to go. Dr. Storm trying to spring the upset. Here comes Cadet Corps. Double Your Money comes through toward the inside. Double Your Money comes through toward the inside to win it. Double Your Money is the winner. Cadet Corps was second. Walaka was third, and there's 5 in the photo for 4th.
Guys, I had Sierra Leone flashbacks as Cadet Corps is like bumping with the horse on the outside, trying to close. Double Your Money. How does this horse get up the rail? Wow. 9-1. Cadet Corps ran a really good race, guys. Finished second. I did not hit my play. I did not have them in second. And even if I did, I didn't have the 7 on top. So congratulations, I went
complexion-
double your money. I'll tell you what, if you had the 7, you did a lot more than doubling your money, guys, because that horse went off at 9-1. I'm just watching I'll tell you what, guys, there's some pretty serious steadying.
There's some trips in this race.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's going to be an inquiry. Did the 2 definitely get second, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
the
two
two
definitely.
I would love to see the inquiry sign up, guys, because there was some nonsense going on the rail there, wasn't there, guys? I'm not saying the 7 came over,
get
but
through.
Navajo Warrior.
I don't even know what the heck the 14.
guys, the 7 absolutely came over. I mean, I don't know if it's enough to look at it. The 7 absolutely came over. Wow, look at the bumping at the start. Mike, that was a roughly run race. Guys, what happened to Navajo Warrior? Any thoughts? I was watching Cadet.
He had absolutely nowhere to go turning for home. I don't know that he had the horse clearly, but I mean, he had some trouble. But
I mean, yeah, he was in between and just they kept closing in, and I think he just kind of gave it up, Ryan, at that point. He tried to go outside,
and that didn't work because Point Doom kind of moved and forced his hand a little early, forced him back inside, and
that was the most Flaming Crown 14 horse race I've ever seen.
Can we please put up the inquiry sign, by the way?
Watching the replay, I don't. Something tells me they won't, but I'll root for it.
I would have loved to hear Pete Aiello at the top of that stretch.
Who do you like here?
There's 9 horses that had the chance.
I think the 7 came over on the 10, who might have been stopping. This is wishful thinking, guys, but who rode double your money, guys?
That was
Melvis Gonzalez.
Melvis Gonzalez.
Of course.
Good ride.
It was a good ride.
He's an East Coast rider, isn't he?
Yeah,
I think
he's like a Laurel guy.
I thought he's Mid Atlantic. I could be wrong.
Is he Parks guy?
He's like a Maryland
Oh,
rider.
is he? Yeah, Mid Atlantic. Wow, what a win for him. And who trained double your money, guys? I'm not looking at the PPs right now.
Benjamin Dunn.
Wow, Ben Dunn. Okay, wow.
Ben Dunn is now 5 for 6 in 2025.
He's 5 for 6 in this year.
You know what? We talked about that on Paul brought that up on the show on Thursday. What a ride. Navajo Warrior broke fine. He was in the 3 path on the first turn, guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you said he had no room on. Did he have horse though at the top of the stretch, Ryan? In your opinion?
I think he was too close to a pace that completely fell apart towards the end of there.
Yeah. Great ride on Cadet Corps. I have zero excuses. There was a little bumping there. He was bumping with someone, but you know what? He followed the flow. He did get second.
It was
ran real well. Of course, now in hindsight, I wish I just played exactas with him, but I don't think I would have had the 7 guys in there. So it's a 9-1 over 6-1 over 15-1.
Over 99-1.
What's that?
Over 99-1.
Over 99-1.
Yeah.
Dr. Storm. It did sort of fall apart for sure. Although that wasn't blazing, guys. I mean, 23-147. I mean, it's quick, but it's not like crazy, right?
It was really just who outlasts the rest, and it was double your money today, obviously. Like the 2 and the 6 were the 2 that were bumping on the outside. Howard, they were coming. They kind of just stalled out at the end there, and obviously double your money was really the only one that had probably any sort of stamina in the last 3 yards.
It's official. When Cadet Corps was making his move, guys, on the outside, like top of the stretch, I kept looking to the inside to see who was getting the Mystic Dan trip. And it looked for a while, didn't look like anyone. That's when I sort of, reacted. And then I saw the 7 come through, and Cadet Corps just couldn't sustain it. I don't really know what to say. I'm proud of the pick, though. It was a good pick.
It was a good pick, and it just didn't end up working out. That's all it is.
So what did I do? So I still am alive, but I need a miracle. Guys, I had $500 basically. I played a $400 Dutch double. 212 with 3. I'm happy with that. I mean, I had the favorite. I had the 2 I liked into Ryan's Lopule's top choice in the last race. That would have gotten me to about 2,100, guys. Just so I don't know, basically the target score. So I have $100 left. So I need some help, people. Thought in the chat. How do I go from 100 to 2,200? Please put in the chat. I'm actually being pretty serious about that. We've got over 300 people watching. If you're not in the contest and you're watching for fun, and you just wanting to learn and here for the entertainment, I have $100 left. I need basically 20 to 1-ish. How do you do that in this next race coming up? So put that in the chat, and we'll bring us some ideas for some people. And I'll send you I'll send you a little something your way if you help me with the right pick. Go ahead, Ryan.
On that note, I got to take off. But just bet a cold try 349, and that's the money. All right, guys.
Yeah. Later on.
See ya.
And then they watch, and then
Is that going to pay 20-1?
what is it? It's 2-1, or you said what? 6-5.
He
2
said
to
3,
5
4,
to
9.
2. Yeah.
To bring it back, we got to get a leaderboard update because there was some movement.
Of course. We're going to do it right now. Let me put it up on the screen. Thanks for allowing me to vent a little bit and just have some fun with that. The only I actually shouldn't have said that, Jackson. I'm going to apologize because it's going to look like that I still have 496. Although I'm not really, I'm not really in the mix, so I don't feel too bad about it. But because it's a double, Jackson, I probably shouldn't do that actually because it doesn't show up on the leaderboard. Looky here. Jeff Van Dree has overtaken Matt Miller by actually, somewhat substantial. $400. Matt is in second. Jeff Van Dree moved up 24 spots. Phil Matzat is in third at 16. James Orban at 1426. And Gwen Houston. So what this does now, guys, this is fascinating. Obviously, Matt's going to be playing from a remote location here. He's not, I don't think he's home, but he's going to be playing obviously on his phone. Sorry, let me bring it back up. Guys, he's not the chasee. He's now the chaser, at least a little bit. I'm fascinated to hear what Matt's going to do here. Let me ask you guys a question, Kyle and Jackson. Based on what you know about Matt, and actually I know the answer, but I don't feel like I want to say. Does your gut tell you he's just going to be happy with that second HC entry, or do you think he's really going to be aggressive to try to get this extra 4,800?
I feel like I know the answer too. So
like for a fact, or you're speculating?
No, speculating, but
okay, I know for a fact, so I don't want to say out of fairness. Go ahead and speculate. What do you think?
I feel like he's going to play a little bit, but he's not going to try. I don't think he's going to be hell bent on getting first necessarily. I don't think the extra 4,800 means enough to him over just having an NHC seat in there.
Mm-hmm. He does have one NHC seat already. Just to let everyone know.
Okay,
he does have one seat.
Okay, that's a good obviously context because that does obviously make it a little bit different. However, obviously the NHC it means a whole lot to be double qualified as well into that. So. I think he'd be more than fine with having second rather than first, at least in my opinion.
Jackson, actually, maybe a better question to ask you, Jackson, is what would you do? Because this is a tough call. It's 4,800 is basically the value of an NHC seat. If you ask the people at NHC, it's like a $5,000 kind of, it's worth that much. It's worth to everyone a different amount. He's only 400 behind, but then again, if he makes a bet and loses here, Jackson, and then loses second by X amount, that would be very painful. So he's in a tough situation here.
Yeah, I think if it was me, I wouldn't be so much concerned about getting first or second. It'd be more, do I feel safe where I'm at in second place right now, given what race is coming up? My answer would be no. I feel like this could be a pretty formidable race. And given how many people behind him have plenty of ammo to go all in on 2-1 shots or 5-2 shots or get something going like that, I would be playing probably not. I don't think I'd be risking it all, but I would be doing something to try to jump back up into first place. Because I would imagine, and again, this is just how I would be playing this. I would assume Jeff is kind of done with his bets. I would assume he'd be happy with where he's at right now and make two people come past him.
I think so.
And if he gets third, great. I still have $2,000. Like, it would suck, but at least I'm not going on with empty-handed. So if it was me in second place, I would be doing something to try to jump back up into first, just because I don't feel safe where I'm at in second place.
I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly, Jeff Van Dree. I've seen his name before. Great job, Jeff. If you're listening or watching, or if anyone friends of Jeff, he did an exacta box, which I don't love boxing in general, but that's a whole other discussion, guys, to be honest. But good for him. Good on him for finding the 2 and the 7 in there. That is tremendous. That's how crazy this game is. The 6 was right there. The 7 had to find room on the inside. If there wasn't steadying, who knows what would have happened. This game is just, it's so difficult with a big field. And I don't know if he went all in or not. I'm guessing he did. Although I have to, no, 24th wasn't, I don't think 24th was $200. Pretty much, right? That's a great hit.
He won 26.75. He's at 26.8.
Yeah.
So
sorry. Good call. Yep. Yeah, good call. I mean, that's a great hit. Congratulations to him, guys. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you picked it right, but you've said it already. I don't think in a game of inches where the 2 just noses out the 6 for on the outside after bumping for what now 600-700 yards. I didn't even mean to do that.
How about this bet, Kyle, from Phil? You want
Yeah.
to say for our audio listeners? You want to say what he did there?
Yeah, I mean, one bet in race 10, he goes 7 with 2, 6, 10, 13. So obviously someone liked the 7 and you obviously got paid for it really nicely. That's only an $80 bet. So what? That's a $20 exacta, 7 with 4 horses. So
Exactly.
I mean, hats off to him, and that puts him, obviously right into contention. We'll see if he ends up doing anything or not with it. Obviously, if you're in the contest, you have to go for first or second. But obviously, we've seen plenty of times before where people are happy with where they are.
Now, guys, there are, including our good friend Mike Saletta. I think he just sat there, right? Yeah, interesting. He just sat, so he's gonna have to make a big play, but he's got 1,000. I mean, anyone that we see on the screen right now. And again, I apologize to Twinspires and everyone. If I was like higher up, guys, I think I wouldn't have said anything. But I do not have 496. Just full disclosure, I didn't have to say that, but. Again, I don't think me with $500 is affecting anything in this tournament, to be very honest with you. Even if people didn't know that, they're not going to say, ooh, Howard's got 500. I got to adjust my play. I have about 100 left, to be very honest, everyone. But really, I would say, I mean, I don't know, down to about $300. Just a cold punch exacta, Jackson. Anyone in the top 15 or 16 could still win this thing, in my opinion, if they have the guts to make that play.
Everything to play for still, absolutely. And again, depending on what your opinion is of this race, like it won't take anything crazy if you're willing to make an aggressive bet in this race. The other thing to consider is people could have played doubles into this next race.
Yep.
I mean,
exactly.
We talked about that these are tough races. We talked about it on Wednesday. It's not crazy to think that someone could have done a 2x2 double or 3x2 double, and
no doubt
in a wide open race like that, the 7 was not, a super crazy long shot to have.
Yep, and we have no idea. Again, people know that even if if I hadn't said anything, people wouldn't know that I played a double. Again, the doubles don't show up on there. So people might think that I didn't play anything, but I admitted I did because we're hosting a show here and I said so. So I'm not, look, I pulled off miracles before in the last race. I'm not going to say I'm done, but speaking of done, been done. Wow. What is he, 5 or 6 now, guys? Trainer?
That's what he said.
year?
Yeah, it's 5 for 6. That's what Jackson said.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and that aqueduct race that comes out of is obviously very live because he came back and won, and we saw, I think it was Curlin's Malibu or Curlin something came back and won earlier on the card as well, and he was in the same race. So it's clearly a race to keep an eye on for other runbacks.
Yep. Kyle just switcheroo. Okay. Guys, there's we'll show one more race, everyone. We have over 300 people watching right now live. Really appreciate everyone watching and listening. Howard Krabs, the HHH Racing Podcast, on with Kyle Roscoe, host of Ben Boozin, Jackson Muniz, co-host of Pacific Horse Players, and co-host of The Gallop Out. Check out that great show. Again, you can listen to us to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor. We've got a great tip sheet. Please look below the video player in the description. We're information about our tip sheet. We've got a website, hhhracingpodcast.com. And guys, we've got a great show on Wednesdays. It's called The Leaderboard. This is Wednesday nights live, 7 p.m. Eastern. Myself, a combination of Jackson and Noah Maher and Matt Miller will always be on for the most part. We recap what happened on Saturdays. We talk about the upcoming Saturday. We give tips, hints, talk about Twinspires contest. It's really a fun show. Please check that out. Here's what I'd like to do. Jackson, I'm going to ask you guys a favor. So I'm going to go off screen again for a few minutes. Kyle, you can take over. If one of you can reach out to Noah and see if we can pop on for the last 15 minutes, I think that'd be cool, just so we can talk about the contest and his thought process for his play. If one of you guys can text him, if he can't come on, that's absolutely fine. And then Kyle, let's let you do what you need to next, for about 5 minutes while I'm off here. Obviously, we need to talk about the last race, my friend. So I'll be back in just a few. How do I turn 100? Any comments in the chat yet, guys? How do I turn 100 in the
There's
21?
A couple in there. You can sift through them.
All right, I'll sift through it. All right, go ahead, Kyle. Thanks.
Yep, you're good. All right. Well, we can talk about it. And if Noah can't come on, Jackson, he did put his thought in the chat when he first, obviously when he first went out. So I do have what he wanted to do, but we'll see from that. Obviously, This last race, we echoed on it, and that's no pun intended to obviously the number 9, who's my top pick in this race. The 3, we talked about it a lot. Obviously, it was Ryan Anderson's top pick, as he mentioned. Howard had the double into him, as he mentioned before. But this horse is just going to be, as we've seen many, many times in the past, this horse just loves to come from the clouds. And in a race where, Jackson, you mentioned, there's not a whole lot of speed in this race. And I can show the time form here, something that we like to use on our shows. Granted, this has the 1, 8, and 9 on the front end, but realistically, the 9 doesn't want the lead at all. The 9's going to probably sit right next to the 4 if you're just looking at this. This, I guess you can call it a graph, if you will. So the 1, 8's just going to be out there. It shouldn't be too much of a fast pace on here.
No, I can't see it being more than just honest, right?
Right.
And if it's just honest and it's a fair game, it probably falls in the lap of the 9 a little bit. I would assume. Looking at the will pays, it does seem like a 3 is going to be the favorite, not a significant favorite, but a relatively clear favorite by the time the gates open. And it's easy to understand why. These connections have done nothing wrong at this meet. This horse has won 3 in a row. He's beaten some good fields doing it. It's just a matter of, can he work out a trip from what's going to be, 10 lengths out of it? He's going to be coming from way out of it, like you said.
Yeah. And granted, you can obviously see the blue coded numbers as far as closed. They went 49-1, 113-1 over it, but it was at Kentucky Downs. So obviously that all plays into it. So if you trust him, he could easily win this race. But as Jackson said, he's going to have to work out arguably a pretty perfect trip in this race, especially if there's no speed to the front end. I mentioned it. My top pick is the 9 Echo Lane for all the reasons that have been mentioned on the show previously. He loves Churchill Downs. This at what is this, a mile or mile and 16th? I think it's a mile and a 16th, right? Yeah, mile and a 16th. He's 5 for 7 on the win end with 6 of 7 in the money. Can't say it too much. I guess it's gonna be like Beetlejuice. I don't know what's gonna come from it, but say it too much, something's gonna happen. Loves the distance, loves the Churchill Downs turf course, and if you're a horse courses player, this is easily the way that you'd end up in here. DRF projects the odds. Obviously, you can see at the top. They project 7-2 on this horse, which would be fantastic in terms of a person that's not in the contest just looking for a vertical bet in this race, especially with the favorite who's going to be pretty far out of it. Just
yeah, and I'm going to steal Chris's line because he made this point this morning. This horse won this race last year as a 3-year-old, and once he did that, and he did it off the bench after a race at Colonial, and they're coming into this race with the exact same pattern. Got to assume that was by design. He obviously loves his turf course. Plenty to like about him. He's obviously a main contender in this spot.
Yeah, and shout out to my dad joins the podcast, of course, and he likes Echo Lane as well. Dad, hopefully we can get that one home, of course, for a bunch of people in the chat. But again, Nantasket Beats is a horse that you guys mentioned a lot. Not going to be as far back as the 3, even though 2 back it would almost seem that way based on the Churchill Downs turf course. This one's coming off a little bit more of a layoff. You got Leparoux and Lauren Robson, but again, a horse that's 8 for 11 total in the money at the distance, loves everything about it, and everyone's anywhere near that 97 last time. I mean, that horse puts into contention, if not the best, probably the best speed figure we've seen out of these horses in the last, year?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, look, I did pick him on top in this race and in the show we did. I didn't think we were going to get to 1, and I don't think he's as good as the 97 buyer we saw 2 back was. But if he runs a 90, he's every bit as good as the 2 favorites in this spot. And I don't think that's crazy to think that he could do that in this race. And he's another one that could be 4th placed. Doesn't have to be, but he could be, depending on how they play the break. And as the 3rd choice, he makes plenty of sense in this race. I'm going to bet him in here.
And in terms of a contest strategy standpoint, Jackson, you mentioned it where, last race, I know people mentioned in the chat that, with a 9-1 winning, you don't want to be too concerned about the double. But in terms of when this race, especially, let's just say you don't like the 3, right? If you're playing this race, you see the 3's 2-1, you see how low he is in the doubles, and you see how far back he's going to be, so you play against it. You could have easily played, if you're $500-600 in that tournament, a 3x2 double or 3 by, something like that could easily put you at, the 4.5x that you need to be able to secure a seat in this contest. So I don't think that's out of fruition either, especially, again, if you don't like the 3, it was 12-1 when I looked at the probables. I'll look at the will pays right now. But it was 12-1 and 18-1 when I looked at it. So easily can be doable.
Change your screen, bro.
Change my screen. Yeah, I blocked it at least though, so it does work out. Yeah, I assume I'll look at it over here. I apologize to everybody out there, but still, the point stands.
No, it does, and it's always tough to say because you don't know people have doubles, and even if they do, like, there's nothing you can do about it. Like,
Right, correct.
You're just kind of just okay. If they hit the double, great, good for them. You just say good job and move on with your day. I think you just kind of have to assume that they don't. And you just play what you're aware of on the leaderboard, which is the top two, which is Jeff and Matt right now. So it's going to be really interesting what happens in this race. I know we have a lot of friends that are in contention right now.
Yeah, obviously, and just wanted to look at it in terms of a betting strategy standpoint. But
yeah,
the probables with the 12, of course, obviously the 7-1, and so they're different. But looking at it with the favorite from the last race, they ended up finishing out 7-10-13. So not as big of a separation as we looked at before. Before they went out of the gate, however, still a pretty, a decent separation of first, second, third choices. So, you're getting, especially on this double, the will pay to the 3 with the 7, of course, is 40-1. With the 9 is 50-1, and the 4 is 67-1. It keeps coming back. But so looking at 50-1, 67-1 doubles, I just feel like that is something that could definitely happen. We saw it jump on the leaderboard where someone just keyed the 7 on top with 4 horses underneath. So there's a couple people out there that might have landed on that 7. And MKT, they're all talking about what Howard should do. Obviously, he's not on the screen, but we might be able to speculate a little bit. I mean, you're looking for 20-1, right? So you could obviously, you could find it if you like. If you somehow like a 20-1 in this race, you could play that. But I think the more value is either in the exotic pools, whether you land exacta, trifecta. There's many ways you can make $20 to your $1 in this field. Obviously, it's just about being a little more right than you would have to be if you had a little bit more money.
Yeah, it's not easy. And again, it all depends on your opinion. Maybe Howard's someone, I don't think he is, but maybe he's someone that hates all these favorites and he thinks this could be a chaos race, in which case, okay, you just play your 25-1 shot to win or whatever he's going to be. Or maybe you play a 10-1 shot and there's a couple logicals underneath. I mean, that's not too crazy either. The good thing is you have a big, large field that you're going to get some value in it, probably just because of how many horses are in the race. So is Howard coming back?
Yeah,
I'm really curious to see what he's going to do in here. It's an interesting spot.
It's a very interesting spot. And so Noah can't come on, but he's yelling at me to check our text. So that's on us. Hey, man, we're doing a show. We're just not, we're not sitting around by any means. But Noah said what his plan was to do was he played exactas and hoped to get him to about 1,000, which is what he put in the chat. He said something along the lines of, could have added the 13, but it wouldn't have gotten enough to play what I wanted to make in the last. So just didn't have enough bankroll realistically to put it in. Then he wanted to Dutch the 4 and the 9 to win to get to 2,500, and exactas with the 3 with the 4-9 in cash in this race. So he wanted to split up the 4. So he wanted to do what I talked about, Jackson, right? If you don't like the 3, there's many different avenues you can go about it. He was going to Dutch to win on the 4 and 9. Was the whole plan to get to about 2,500. So sound thinking, obviously, and just if he had a little more bankroll, he said he could have used the 13, but just didn't have enough in the end for what he wanted to make later in the card.
All right, guys. Well, I've made my bet, and Matt Miller would probably hate me for saying this, but I'm not exactly sure it's going to get to where I need to get to. But you know what? When you have $100 left, obviously I've sort of blown my tournament. Certain bets are off the page here because I am trying to get an HC seat. So, like, for example, I mean, there's no reason to hide it. Like, I don't have enough money to play a 3-9 exacta, for example, because it's not going to get to me. It's not going to get to where I need to go. So, like Jackson said, I either have to play some bigger prices, or I have to really, really be narrow in a different kind of bet, right? I mean, those are really my options here. So I don't. Look, chances of me, frankly, if I hit and get my 1,000 back that I put into this tournament, to be honest, I'd be happy at this point. I just, based on look, Jackson, this is weird, and Kyle too, because sometimes you do have to go against your own opinion to get to a spot, but then I sort of feel like I'm just completely throwing away money. And I'm not sure I want to do that. The bottom line is my turn's pretty much over at this point, and so you have to just be realistic. At least that's how I view it. Maybe that's loser's mentality, guys, but I mean that's just how I feel.
Yeah, well, that's why I would argue you should have bet it all in the last race and backed it up on your horse you actually really liked. That way, you're not stuck in the situation betting horses on a prayer that you don't even like to begin with. I mean,
fair criticism.
It seems like you didn't like the 7 anyways on top and an exacta, so it probably didn't matter. But that's probably how I would have approached it.
That's fair. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up on the screen here, at least so we don't. Hold on 1 second here. Let me do this. Actually, no, I do have to do that. I don't want to miss the race here. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll make sure the video comes off immediately here. Hold on a second. Why can't I share? Are you off, Kyle?
Yep, I'm off.
Okay, hold on. We won't miss the race, everyone. I promise.
They're not. They're just starting to load now, so we're all good still.
Okay, we're good. Okay.
See a bunch of people in the chat putting in their bets. Obviously, good luck to all of you guys. Hopefully, it all ends up well, and see a bunch of people rooting for you, Howard, too. Obviously,
thank you.
Hoping that with the try or whatever you're doing, exactas something or other. Good luck.
There are ways to do it.
Well.
I mean, it's not like I need 100 to 1 here.
I have a 4 Stroke of Midnight.
Sound
and
good.
A Zoe.
All right.
And Swiss Slang and Kayla.
Good luck, everyone. Last race to try to get to the AHC here on the HHH Racing Podcast.
Obviously, it's also fun because we get to see what Matt's going to do in this race.
True. I'm assuming he's making a bet. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I agree. And I'll wait till they go out of the gate till I can fully speculate what I think he's going to do.
Good luck.
It's always the last horse in on the outside, guys. They always, I don't know if they just see the crowd or what is that. It's just, I'm telling you, all the horses walked in perfectly fine. The 12 probably walks in fine 95% of the time. And they just, they need all the assistant starters. Here we go.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Gewürztraminer from the inside post breaks out on top. Nantasket Beach with some early speed. Echo Lane is up there, and so is Grounded. Goes the Clown, goes down toward the inside as Gewürztraminer's way out in the center of the course. Gewürztraminer is 6 wide onto the finish line for the first time, floating Grounded way out there, and now the two of them angle back over toward the inside. Some interesting tactics in the opening quarter mile, and Gewürztraminer, after all of that, is loose on the lead by 1.5 lengths. Grounded backs off into second, 3 lengths back. Echo Lane's in third, goes to Clown fourth. Nantasket Beach in fifth. Kalik outside 6th. King Curlin in 7th. The Zoe buried at the inside 8th. Stroke of Midnight is racing in 9th. Mr. Abarrio's in 10th. Swiss Sling far outside 11th. And Risk Manager is at the back of the pack with 4 furlongs to go. Gewürztraminer's quarter was 23-4 to a 48-2 half mile. And they're on the far turn now. Gewürztraminer leads the way, Grounded in pursuit second. In the meantime, Echo Lane starts to rev up outside third. Nantasket Beach comes on 4 wide fourth. Kayla comes on 5 wide fifth. Swiss Sling 6 wide sixth. Goes the Clown, saving ground every step of the way. They're off the turn. Gewürztraminer confronted by Grounded. Echo Lane is cut loose outside. King Curlin in behind. Goes the Clown, goes to the rail. Stroke of Midnight's picking through the pack. Nantasket Beach down the top of the turf. Final 16th. Gewürztraminer duels with Echo Lane. Echo Lane is up for the lead right at the 16th pole and stretches out to do it. Echo Lane the winner. Gewürztraminer second. King Curlin third. Tight for fourth. Among them goes the Clown. Risk Manager way too late on the scene there. And Nantasket Beach.
All right. Well, no bueno for me. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Echo Lane wins at, wow, he got bet down to the favorite, guys. 2-1. Nice call. We're good, right? Did I mute someone?
We're good.
Okay.
Nope, good.
Nice call. I think that was your top pick, right, Kyle?
Yeah, of course
that
was
was
the favorite. Yeah.
Yep. I believe that was a spot play. I'd have to go back and look at our tip sheet. It was? Okay, 2-1. Everyone's like, Howard, you didn't play your spot play? I couldn't play the 9 on top, guys, for a lot of reasons. The 10, so 9-1-10.
Yeah.
Wow, 60-1 in third. Nantasket Beach.
That would have gone you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So I played tries, guys. I played tries. and I know people are going to criticize me. That's fine. I played the 3 on top. The 3 and 9 were basically the same price, guys, and I thought the 3 was just the better animal. Curious ride. I know the 3's a closer, Jackson, but I mean, from last, I didn't see that. He had no chance whatsoever to get there. And I played a lot of big tries, very skinny. Like I played with some bombs in third, not King Curlin. Like I did 3 with 4 with 7-12. I played 3 with 9 with 7-12. I played bigger tries with some of the chalkier ones. Anyway, I played a bunch of tries, all had the 3 on top. So I wouldn't have had Gewürztraminer. I would not have had that horse in second, who, by the way, took a ton of money late. Just want to say that. What does this do to the contest, guys? I got to imagine that's very good for some people.
Yep.
I think Matt sent out a text. What did he say here?
My guess was that he was going to put
to
win on the 9. Would be
I will, let me see if I can do this without.
And a bunch of people cashed that in the chat too. So congrats to all of you guys.
Could you guys read that at home? There we go. He put $222. Interesting.
On the 3, though.
On the 3.
Interesting.
Oh boy, my friend. Is he going to get second, guys? I'm going to say no. I hate to say it. I don't think he's going to hold on to second.
I think I think Mike's led in chat at 900, or he had like 700. Yeah, Mike hit.
Whoa! Is that Mike?
Yep.
Soletta. Nice job, my friend. All right. Well, the great thing, guys, is they show it right away. Mike says he hoped that. Let's see. So Mike's going to finish with what, guys? He had 900. He's on that. 1828. That's got to be enough.
1725.
He's past Matt for sure. Yes.
So 725, 2-1 plus at least 1450 minimum, obviously, right? Let's say 1500 plus the 1,000. He's got 26-ish.
No, up.
He's at like 2200. Math teacher.
What did I say?
You said like
plus the bet, obviously, right. What is it? 725.
Yeah.
So 15 plus the 700, right? 22. Yeah, he's at like 23-ish. Right, 23, 24. You didn't give me a chance to add the add the actual bet itself.
Develop.
I won't talk about what Jackson was saying earlier this week when I was talking about math in our private text.
Oh my God, that's a joke.
I know.
That's what the XD was for afterwards.
XD. I know.
I heard that one.
He didn't know what XD was either.
Oh man,
I know.
That's a good old.
This is gonna be really interesting. If you had the 9 Echo Lane, congratulations.
$6.90.
Oh wow,
too. Funny,
Mike.
enough.
You should. I don't want to say congrats to Mike yet, but so guys, even if I had the previous race, I would have lost the double. But my plan was to do something obviously with the 9 if I was alive to the 3, right, Jackson? So. Although I agree with you, I could have shoved all in. If the 2 or 12 had won, Kyle and Jackson, I would have done something cold punch with the 9 because those are my top 2 choices, right? So that's the advantage of not going all in, Jackson. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that was my logic. That if I was alive to the 3, then I could have done with my last 100. I could have played a cold punch exacta or try with the 9, and I would have had 2 bites of the apple, Kyle and Jackson, in the last race. So that was my logic there. It's important to talk about these things for people that play contests, or even if you don't. Right, like even if you don't play contests, Kyle. Let's say you're on the day-to-day as we wait for the. We'll show the leaderboard and end the show. For the day-to-day, Kyle and Jackson. Let's say you're playing let's say I was playing a $10 double, 212 with 3. And I was trying to get to $100 or whatever. Now I can hedge with the 9 in the last race. So it's really not about contests; it's about money management.
Yeah, I mean it's. Talk about it all the time, and the fun thing is that stuff that I've gotten into when I was learning how to play these contests was I'd do my own contests on the side, like I'd take $20 and try to make it to what the winner is going to be 3,000, so that's 6x your money. Or what was the prize pool? Was it 250 or was it just straight 500 for this one?
It was 250 in the prize, 250. It was a 50-50 split.
So 10x. So yeah, you go from you try 20 into 200.
It's over, guys. The contest is over. Sorry, I'm to you, Kyle.
You're good. Yeah,
Michael Soletta. Nice job, Mike. Michael Soletta with 2,500. Look how close this is, guys. My goodness.
Yeah, congrats.
Michael Soletta wins with a big win bet as $700 to win on actually $725 to win on the 9. Finishes with 2,500, just fraction over, and gets a seat to the NHC. Great job, my friend. James Orban moved up 2 spots, gets second, 24.06. He also did a bunch of win bets on the 9. He also played some trifectas, guys. Oh, sorry, that was the last race. So he crushed the last 2 races, guys. Congrats to James Orban with some win bets on the 9 and the trifecta. Matt Miller, I think he's going to be pretty disappointing, guys, to be very knowing Matt. He does finish 4th with 2,031. So he made a bet, right? Like he said, yep. He bet, there it is, 222, exactly as you saw in my text, to win on the 3. Look, guys, I down to Albert Witt, who finished 5th, Paul Collin, Nathan White, Anthony DeCaspers, Nick Sievers, and David Miller, no relation to Matt, rounds off the top 10. Again, the winners, guys. So Mike Saletta, 8,000 NHCC, awesome job. James Orban absolutely crushed the last 2 races. Also an NHCC 3,200. And again, down Matt Miller gets 1,200. He started with, he bet 1,000, guys. So he wins 1,000 on the cash side, wins another 1,200. So, look, we don't have to cry spilt milk for him. He wins 2,200, guys, in the contest for Twin Spires. But we'll talk more about this, guys, on our show Wednesday. So since Jackson's going to be on the show, actually, I don't know if it's going to be you. Oh, it is you, right? Because Noah, we haven't decided that yet. Have we, Jackson? I don't know if we've decided.
I'll be there if you need me. Just call.
All right. Well, anyway, I'll let you guys close out real quick. Final thoughts on what was a thrilling day. Let's first talk about Matt quickly. Look, I like the 3 also. If he had hit that, guys, let's see. Actually, he would have won. Well, we don't know what other people would have done.
Right.
But he would have had 220 times 2.5. That's at least about 6 plus 8. He would have had 29. No, actually, start with it would have been about 23,000.
3,000, yeah.
About 3,000, right? Kyle, quick thoughts on what Matt did, and I'll let Jackson wrap it up.
No, that's fine. And we talked about it, right? Was that what would Matt do if the thought was there? My thought would be probably place a win bet. I thought it was me on the 9, just because that was your spot play, Howard. Again, talking about listening to picks and stuff like that. Ended up going with the 3 because that was the favorite, so heavily in the doubles about how he talks about numbers. And it would have worked if the 3 would have won. Unfortunately, the other one of the 2 favorites won. The thinking was right, just the wrong horse. And I feel like it's a good play because if he misses, maybe, you still have the possibility of getting second. However, of course, with the favorite winning, it would have been tough to hold on.
Just showing everyone well, I don't want to get into it, but as you guys know, it's a bit of a minor kerfuffle last weekend. I just want to be full disclosure here as we wrap up the show, Jack, so you can talk about what the winners did very quickly, because we'll talk more about it on Wednesday, whether you're here or not. This is our tip sheet, ladies and gentlemen. This is the tip sheet, and there you see Cadet Corps was my play of the day. I did not have the 7 in first. Otherwise, that would have been a nice exacta or try I gave up. But certainly the 2 end very well. And there you go, guys. Echo Lane was on the spot play. Again, nothing crazy. It was 2-1. I'm not going to start doing cartwheels and celebrating. It was a very logical. It was a very logical horse. But again, that helps the ROI, Kyle, for the tip sheet. And I'll take a small amount of credit for Echo Lane. I said, you can read it, Jackson, towards the bottom, that Echo Lane is much more tractable, is not going to have to deal with as much traffic. That's exactly how it panned out, to be very honest.
Yeah, no, good job. Good pick. And congrats to all the winners. That's a great job. Anytime you can turn $250 into 2,000 plus, I mean, you had yourself a pretty good day.
Awesome. I see 137 comments, guys. We can't get to all of them, but I really do appreciate everyone watching and listening. Oh, people are giving suggestions on what I should play. So yeah, I'll go back and look at that, ladies and gentlemen. But awesome job, everyone. Jackson, especially you. I said we'd be done at 5. They went a little bit late, and we had to talk for a second here. But really appreciate you coming on, Jackson, and Kyle subbing in for Matt Miller. So for Kyle and Jackson, this has been your host, Howard Kravitz. A lot of fun. Weekend Warriors. I'm not going to say we're going to do this every week, but many weeks we're going to have these contest shows. Please comment below the video player. Send DMs if you have any opinions on what we did. And congratulations to all the winners. Crush your bets in the next Twinspires contest. Have a great rest of the weekend, everyone. Take care. Good night.
If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.